Welcome back to another classic episode of the Family Album Podcast. I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
And I'm Matt Glass.
Matt, I got some exciting news for you today, buddy.
What would that be, my friend?
I have finally escaped the pocket dimension.
Really? How'd you do that?
It's a long story, but just a word of advice. If you ever come across a water witch, just never try to swindle her out of her priceless collection of mystic jewels.
Now, question for you.
Yeah.
In this pocket dimension, I lost my glasses like a week ago. Did they end up there? Did you happen to see them at any point?
I didn't. There was like a little speck that floated across my eyes at one point, but I was too distracted trying to swim out of the goop that I couldn't really get to it, you know?
Nah, for sure. Priorities.
Exactly. Speaking of priorities, it's an off week, ladies and gentlemen. So you know what that means? We got a special guest who gave us a theme for this week's album. Please welcome Elizabeth Cavaliere.
Hello. How are you guys?
I'm doing just fine, Elizabeth. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited for this. I've been looking forward to this all week. Like, genuinely.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be a fun time for sure.
Exactly.
We got quite an array.
We do. Listeners, you know what kind of music taste Matt and I have, and Elizabeth is about to throw a wrench into our albums.
You guys are good sports for this.
We are.
Very good sports for this.
Were we? Wait. So, do you like these albums or like?
Oh, I love these albums.
Oh, okay, good. I wasn't sure what like I should be going to. I wasn't sure originally like how I should have been approaching these albums when I was listening to them.
Yeah.
So.
No,
yeah.
I love these are albums I listened to like freshman year of high school, probably.
Yeah.
So very formative years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
That would 2015.
Yeah.
Both from 2015. Both from August 2015.
I didn't realize that. They're both from August of 2015 and they're both debut albums.
You want to know what's
that's
even
true.
weirder? You know what's even weirder? The runtime of both these albums are very similar and they both have 16 tracks.
Wow, that's crazy.
Is this just a reflection of my OCD and how I like things to be the same?
Similar?
Is this just a reflection of how I consume music as all the same thing?
Yes, this is actually a psychoanalysis of Elizabeth Cavaliere.
Yeah, this is a therapy session. We're not talking about albums at all.
No.
No. Yeah, it's an intervention actually.
Well, Elizabeth, tell us a little bit about yourself, your musical kind of background, and I guess your career, because you got something kind of interesting going on.
Music has been a huge part of my life for literally as long as I can remember. At the age of 6, I carried around Ashlee Simpson's autobiography CD like a stuffed animal. Like I take it to the grocery store, I took it to every family event. It was at my side at all times. From that point on, I've always loved music. Grew up a big fan of so many artists. That was like my whole personality. Still a little bit is, but more
Grew out of it a little bit, yeah.
Grew out of it a little bit. But yeah, and now I work in music touring. So I've been touring with my one artist, Ren for short, for the past year and a half now. I went to Europe. I went on 2 US tours. And I'm about to go on a different tour with a different artist as a tour manager. So moving up in that.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty dope.
We'd love to hear.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I guess, as you know, our guest picks a theme for this week. So, Elizabeth, what is the theme you picked for us?
The theme I picked is concept albums because that is my favorite kind of album. And I feel like now with how music is made, albums aren't really a priority anymore, which
Agreed.
is so sad. It's like big corporations, like labels are focusing more on singles and trying to get a viral hit versus
TikTok,
versus trying to create like a
whole
really,
experience.
Yes, a cohesive body of work. So I took you two back to two of my favorite concept albums.
Would you like to tell us what they are?
Sure. The one I picked is Crybaby by Melanie Martinez, and the other one is Badlands by Halsey.
2 albums I've never heard before, ever.
I know, that's why I kind of love it. Like, you two are like guinea pigs in the sense of I know neither of you have probably heard, most of this music. Maybe a few off Badlands. Anybody familiar?
I don't think so, not for me.
Crybaby, the one song I did hear before.
Oh, really?
Which
Wait,
one?
what one?
Oh, shoot. It's my party and I
Pity Party?
Oh,
That's
Pity
it, yeah.
Party.
I had heard that one before.
Well,
Wild.
that part is a sample of a 60s song.
Ah.
Yeah.
So
maybe you heard that version.
Has Matt heard the sample part, or has Matt heard
The
Melanie's?
actual song. That's an
Melanie's
interesting
was
question.
pretty big, I guess, at the time.
That's true. It was also trending on TikTok for like a little bit.
A lot of her music,
so-
which is interesting because I didn't notice until I was listening back to this album, like this week, that a lot of her music has been trending on TikTok recently.
Oh,
which
she's
is
got like a new album coming out, I think.
She has a new album coming up. I mean, like this specific album, people have been
okay.
taking sound bites from and using it, which is interesting. Because it wasn't like, it had a few hits. Like Pity Party was a pretty big hit. But besides that, nothing was really like a radio single.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know where these kids are finding this.
I think
what's
I don't know.
happening.
I think a lot of us are just sad. So I mean, like,
Fair enough.
we just want to identify.
These albums are both very dark.
We just
They are.
That's another
Yes.
thing.
a lot of our generation just kind of wants to unite in our sadness. I feel like so.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a good point too.
yeah.
Well, Elizabeth, what album would you like to start with this week?
I want to go into Crybaby. I'm so excited.
Okay.
Because listen,
All right.
Crybaby, as opposed to Badlands, I feel like Crybaby has an actual storyline threaded through it that Melanie wrote with like an intention. So I want to see what you guys thought of that. Whereas Badlands is more like a cohesive concept.
Yeah, it's a broad concept.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah, we will get to Badlands. But yeah, I guess we should get into Crybaby. As historian, I'll give us a little intro. And we have our guest actually gave us a big little research sheet
I
before he
sent
hopped in
AJ
here.
a literal document. He's like, you sent info, and I was like, yeah, give me 10 minutes. And I typed up a document.
All right, so Crybaby was released August 14th, 2015 on Atlantic Records. And it is about a fictional version of Martinez named Crybaby as she recounts traumatic things, both real and fictional, that happened in her life through the lens of a child. Anything to add on that one?
No, I think that's great. You
Let's
slayed.
go.
You
Let's go.
slayed, AJ.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thanks, man. Do you know like anything about like the background of Melanie Martinez, like how she kind of got her start?
She started on The Voice.
Yeah.
So she was on The Voice, I think, in
okay.
2018. And then, like, not 2018. Whoa, God, my brain just added like 10 years. It was like 2014.
Yeah.
And then made Crybaby.
Nice. All right. I guess we should just. Never did you have something to say, Matt?
I was gonna say what a start.
That's
Honestly.
true. Going from The Voice
The
to
pipeline
Crybaby.
of artists coming from those singing shows
Yeah.
and who actually thrives is so interesting because I feel like you can pick out really quickly who was there to be on TV and try to get a quick record deal and who was here to actually be an artist.
Yeah.
I love tracking the longevity of those people.
It is interesting because like a bunch of like those people from like American Idol back in the 2000s, who the fuck are they now?
Yeah, where are they? Somebody find David Cook.
Oh yeah.
That was my first concert, actually. It was American
Really?
Idol Live.
Wow.
Because my mom loved David Cook.
That's wild.
I know, isn't that crazy? You'd think it'd be like Hannah Montana with how I am.
No,
but
he doesn't fit at
unfortunately-
all.
Unfortunately, it was David Cook. So,
Amy, this is a shout out to you. All right, let's hop right into this first track. The title track, we got Crybaby, and I gotta say, I hate the sample of the crying baby at the start.
That's so
makes me
funny.
uncomfy.
Interesting.
Now, AJ, we had kind of touched base a little bit about this album.
Yes.
Because we usually do that whenever we have guest episodes, and we're like, oh, what'd you think?
Yeah, just get like a feel for it before we hop in.
You're gonna be kind of surprised. I actually like this album a lot.
Really?
Yes.
That's surprising.
Slay, Matt.
Surprised. I was very because both you and our other friend Fataday.
Okay.
They were like, "Oh, you're in for a treat, Bucko," and I was like, "You know what? Like, let's see what it has to offer."
Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you, I thoroughly enjoyed a lot of this album.
Interesting.
I think it's objectively cool. I love the concept of it. I love the theme of like all the sounds throughout it. You'll hear is like so childlike and like, I don't know, it just has such an energy to it and I love it. And I love that you liked it. I did not expect either of you to like either of these albums, to be honest. So that's a pleasant surprise. Good start, Matt.
Yeah, good for you, Matt.
I think
AJ.
I'll get to my thoughts.
I think the beat kind of goes hard on the opening track.
I mean, like, yeah, musically,
yeah.
like, I listened to Badlands first, and we'll talk about that more later, but
Same
I feel
here.
like it was more engaging musically as an album.
Yeah.
So, like, musically, I think it was it was fine. I do like the sound effects. They add a lot more texture and, like, I guess, atmosphere to the songs that really help kind of fit with the theme. Crybaby is a good example of that. But I feel like kind of as it goes on, it starts to wear out its welcome, which I'll get into later as we get into more tracks. But I thought this was a solid opener. Definitely sets the tone for the album, and it's a hit. Like, yeah.
I love also just the whole Crybaby's supposed to be like, you're too emotional.
Yeah.
And I think that's how I am and how I grew up. So I think that's another, I bet I heard this at 14. I can't remember specifically, but I'm sure I was like, oh my God,
Literally me.
this is me.
I think the hook is definitely like one of my favorite parts of the song overall. Like it really grew on me like as the song went on. When I first started listening, I was like, wow, her voice is kind of strange. But then I don't know, it was growing on me a lot. The vibe is like chill and sad, which I appreciate.
That
dig.
checks Matt's two boxes.
Yes.
He's like, chill, sad, awesome.
My
That's
two
all I need.
personality
It's all I
traits.
need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. No, I agree. Her voice is really interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's because like if you saw her on The Voice though, it's like she went
can
more
imagine,
of the
like,
you know,
yeah.
traditional I'm gonna be a pop star. And I think it's kind of weird how she sings. And I think that's very purposeful. I think with Melanie, she's very intelligent. I think it comes with like everything she does is purposeful and everything,
Yeah.
like every little thing. So like the whining and kind of the tones you hear throughout this, I think is like supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to add to like the concept. I just hit the mic. I'm so sorry. It's supposed to add to the concept.
I feel like what is nice about because this was this produced by like a record label?
This was
I'm
Atlantic
sure.
Records, but I'm very surprised by.
Yeah. Well, because she got signed after The Voice.
Really?
That's the thing.
She didn't win, but she got out like pretty far in.
Whoever wins those TV shows never goes anywhere.
Yeah.
It's the
God,
people.
I keep hitting the fucking mic.
AJ's so excited talking about Crybaby. No, but I think if you like come second or third place normally, I don't think she was that high. I actually don't know
She
where
was like
she ranked.
6, I think.
Yeah. It was, if you're in the top 10, normally that's when labels kind of scout you then. And I'm sure since it was Atlantic, it was produced by probably,
Like, and it's a very talented group of people. Yeah.
I was going to say that, like, when it comes to mainstream pop music that, like, is produced by, like, a record company, I feel like the music kind of sounds like canned, if that makes
like
sense.
corporate.
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like one thing to already say about this album is I love how it isn't like a bland, like very generic, like
pop album, like
sound.
just to sell. Like it's fully Martinez. Like she knows what she wants to do and she just goes for it, doesn't give a shit, which is respectable.
It's totally Martinez.
It is so interesting because it was under a label, and you think with a debut especially.
Yeah.
I guess that must have been somewhere in her deal where she's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it my way. Because it's not like a safe debut.
No, not at all.
It's like, I can't find, I mean, Pity Party maybe. And like Crybaby could be like kind of radio sounding, but at the same time, it's like, it's really not a radio album.
Yeah, it's more like the context is what's like the most off-putting part. The music itself is like fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else to add on Crybaby, or should we move on?
I think we should keep going.
All right, the next one is Dollhouse. Was this a single? I'm not sure.
I think this might have been a single.
Yeah, it sounds like
Really?
it.
Okay.
I love Dollhouse. It literally, I love the little like dun 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 dun. Like the opening, I think is so fun.
Plus,
and
like all
it's
the like ticking clocks and the gears and stuff.
All the little things. I think sonically, this album, like again, the little details is what makes it.
Yeah.
Like it just fits the theme so well. And I don't know. I think this is a really relatable song for a lot of people, and I like the way it's put as like a dollhouse, and it's like there's people you have to hide, you have to be different.
And gotta like put on a face for people. Yeah, like you're all staged. It's cool.
I also got to say, like, it's not easy to write a melody and like a hook based around like a 9-letter word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
That's a really good point.
and the fact that she was successfully like able to do that, I got to give her credit where credit's due, for sure. I also think the beat goes hard in this one too. I like it.
The music's solid throughout. I mean, there's a couple like low points, but I think overall it's pretty good, which I enjoy. I think the only thing I'm not like super huge on is after the Dollhouse hook where she spells out the word, it repeats that phrase in like a more kind of like distant echoed voice, or just kind of like cliche.
There's Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
They're like, repeat it.
This is hot. They would love
Literally,
this.
lower the volume, add an echo,
Yeah.
repeat it, pop hit.
Yeah.
I also really like the theme of this track a lot.
Yeah.
About like sort of putting on appearances for the sake of everybody else, and like, you know, because you're told to. I feel like, I don't know why, but like I really related to that like a lot.
It works pretty well. Like the metaphor actually is really solid. Like someone's controlling your life or like your whole like appearance.
Yeah, and it's, again, I've never heard it compared to something like that.
Yeah.
Which I think is really interesting. And I think also this track is like, in the story world, like in Crybaby, you meet the character.
Yeah.
This is where you're meeting her family. So all the lines about like the mom,
The brother.
and the brother, like this is building the family complex for what's going to come.
Especially in the next track.
The next track.
I heard the music videos for these songs are like kind of crazy.
Yeah, there's like a whole visual album, I think. Yeah.
There's a whole thing because, again, it follows that story.
Yeah.
And it's like Atlantic Records really said, do what you want.
Yeah, they saw potential.
We believe in you. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add, the bass in the song actually fucking rips. It's really fucking good.
It goes hard,
The
like,
beats
honestly.
slay.
Yeah.
She somehow found a way to put beats in an album that's supposed to be like childlike tunes,
for fucking
but
nursery rhymes.
but still make it sound like it still has
Yeah.
that homey sound of like a nursery rhyme, or like there's something else in it in the album that's like, so it's not nursery but something else.
It's just like kind of
We'll
like
get to it.
Yeah.
We'll find it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Well, yeah, we'll fix it in post.
That's my job. All right, moving on. We have Sippy Cup. Now, for the most part, I like this song, but the fucking sample of the dripping water, I hate it.
Yeah.
It sounds like Melanie's sloshing around in my brain, and I fucking don't like it.
It's so funny because that's purposeful. It's supposed to be like uncomfortable. I think that's how she does it. And I love that it's affecting you like that. She did her job
works.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Sippy Cup, honestly. That opening line where it's like kind of like the effects are, but not really anything else. And it's just like the lyrics and then it goes in. I love that so much.
Like her vocals are really good on this song specifically.
sure.
Like they shine.
I don't like the lyrics I know they're purposely like made to like, you know, make the listener
Get a reaction,
uncomfortable.
yeah.
But for sure, like the idea of drinking like syrup in a sippy cup, like I actually gagged a little bit, just like a teensy tiny bit. I got a little bit nauseous thinking about it.
Matt's like, I gotta stop.
It's just so viscous. Like I can't even think about it. Like it's terrible.
It's not gonna come out.
See, that's what like the thing that got me is like blood still stains when the sheets are washed. I love that you were like the syrup made me gag. I'm like the blood stained sheets.
I did have a note about that later on in this section, but I do I like the whole motif of like the damage has been done and it'll still be there.
Yeah,
like that's kind of like I think like one of the main points is trying to hit in this track for sure. One thing that I didn't want to bring it up until this track because like, you know, I felt like what better track to bring it up? The album has a lot of wetness to it.
it really does. Like
That's so. You're right.
It's a very. I've never described an album as wet before,
yeah.
but like it is quite damp.
Crybaby is truly a wet album, as we discovered.
Oh my gosh.
It's damp for sure.
That's so. I'm going through track by track and being like, yeah.
This has a very
there's, like,
moist
drips.
sound to it, you know.
Interesting. Wow. Good note, Matt.
I thought the music was kind of interesting here too. I described it as a Lolita trap mixed with vaporwave, kind of a little bit. It's interesting. It fits the tone.
It does for
Yeah.
sure.
I like that comparison a lot.
Yeah, Lolita trap.
Yeah. I don't know if I describe Melanie like that, but that's so interesting.
Thank you.
The production is so good on this though.
It is.
like genuinely
Yeah.
as wet as this track may be. Like it is. It's done well.
Matt, you sound like me anytime I'm like, the production. That's my favorite thing to yell, especially like, I'm like, what will this sound like live? What will they do with it?
That's true. Yeah, I'm actually really curious how they would do this live.
I saw her once in 2016, and this was the only album she had at the time.
Yeah.
And it was at one of those festivals. Do you guys remember those? You might not, but there was festivals that used to throw like 5 young, arising pop stars onto a stage, call it like Summerfest or something really cliche.
No, I don't
and
think
stupid.
so.
I live under a rock.
Okay, well, I went to one of those and she was there, which is crazy for Melanie Martinez to be at a show with Shawn Mendes. Let me
my
tell
God.
you, that was
The alligator
audience-
himself.
It was so.
Please, Matt, it's a crocodile.
Oh, jeez, I'm so sorry.
It was so
We don't
funny because
discriminate.
like seeing who was there specifically for Melanie versus who
Yeah.
came for like
Yes.
Shawn Mendes, Sabrina Carpenter.
I actually have a story about that. I was like kind of concerned about like my overall opinions on this album, so I looked at some reviews and I went on album of the year. And there was a funny story about this dude who was at a Run the Jewels concert, and like all these Melanie Martinez fans dressed in like I guess her culture stuff just like
Yeah.
rolled up, and he was like, "You guys like Run the Jewels?" And like, who? And they were in the wrong line for Melanie Martinez, so she had to direct them to the right place.
That's so no, you can spot a Melanie Martinez
Yeah.
because it's that 2014-15 Tumblr core. Like
yeah.
every bit, and Halsey has that same. I think I just love Tumblr albums because Halsey's album is also a Tumblr
Oh,
album.
100%.
I don't
In a
know.
very different way.
I'm
for
very
sure.
I'm very unversed in like anything to do with Tumblr because I never had it or like even cared to explore it
Yeah.
anyway.
You would know a Tumblr girl though. It was like that Tumblr e-girl was like they had the Galaxy Vans and there were tights and Doc Martens and little tennis skirts.
Harry Potter, Twilight fan
Potter.
fiction.
Yeah.
You mean like Vans is in like shoes?
Yes.
I thought you meant like
Not
I thought you
cars.
meant like an
no, I'm
automobile.
so sorry. Like the Vans, like
Yeah.
you
About
don't
to be
know
like,
the
that's fucking
Galaxy
expensive.
sneakers. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? The
Oh,
Galaxy
yeah, I know
sneakers?
what those are. Okay,
And
yeah.
like everyone loved mustaches. There was like a certain
Yeah.
genre of people. Now I
That's
wasn't
so true.
Now here's the thing with my Tumblr
AJ,
use.
you have a mustache. Are you?
No, I'm actually Markiplier, Matt.
I see. I see. My bad.
The thing is with Tumblr though is that I like to identify that I was part in that culture because Tumblr had a lot of things for fans. It was like
Yeah.
big Fifth Harmony Tumblr. Melanie fans were on there. Halsey fans were on there. So I consumed it in that way. I was not more so the girl. I did not wear the mustaches. I did not have
not
the Galaxy
indulge,
Vans. Yeah. But I knew that culture very, very
Yeah.
well. But anyway, that was a long tangent for nothing.
Anyway, Sippy Cup.
Sippy Cup.
It's all right. It just makes me feel a little uncomfy, but I like it
I think
musically.
I love how I love the uncomfortableness because it takes you more into the depth of that family dynamic
Yeah,
and
for
how
sure.
it's like, oh, this character's being drugged
Yeah.
by her mother.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
No, lyrically and thematically, the whole album is pretty good. I mean, like up to a certain point, like flow wise, toward the end, I feel like. But we'll get to that.
Yeah,
when we
but I
get
think feel like that's might be like a product of it about being a deluxe album.
that's what I was. Yeah.
I think also she was like 19, 20 when she wrote this.
Which is
I think-
impressive.
Yeah, which I
Wow.
think
Yeah.
every time I found out a singer's age where I'm like, how did you do that? I couldn't form a solid thought at 19.
I was still a business major.
I'm 21 years old and I can barely drink out of a sippy cup. Like honestly.
How do you make an album?
Syrup nonetheless, but no. Anyway, we should probably keep going.
Yes, sir. The next one we have Carousel. I think it's got a really cool opener with
Holy
the accordion.
shit, accordion.
Yeah.
I wrote that. I was so excited when I heard like an accordion. You don't get a lot of accordion. Like
No.
Or kalimba.
Especially
That's
in
true.
pop
Yeah.
music. Like this is pop.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting.
the only mainstream accordion album I've ever heard is Weird Al. So I am so happy.
Melanie Martinez and Weird Al.
Dude, what
The Venn diagram, you know? Accordions.
Fine where they overlap.
I'm on the accordion subreddit.
Accordion
This
chord.
album is on it for a brief second.
Accordion core.
Accordion chord. No, but like honestly, I kind of like this one. I think I've heard this. This is another one I've heard on TikTok. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
That's interesting. It's so weird. Why is that album coming back on TikTok? Someone
I don't know.
analyze these 12-year-old things. Like, what's happening? But how'd they find... That's one always like, I understand, like, I guess Melanie has new music coming out, so you look into her old
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but still, it's like, how does that go so viral? I can't make it make sense.
I mean, this was like kind of a big breakthrough. Like a lot of people just kind of gotten like to the culture from this album. So
Yeah,
maybe they're
that's
passing
true.
it on.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's true. In my head, Melanie fans, like, after... Because she didn't release an album
For a
like,
while,
years. I think they went to like hiding or like retreat. Like they took the outfits off and they like went away.
Uh-huh.
And I guess maybe it is that thing when she comes back. It's like everything comes back.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's like a heralding
Yeah.
of the apocalypse.
That's exactly what I associate fan bases. Like they go into hiding. Like the Taylor Swift fans now, same thing. They're
Yeah.
all out of the everyone.
They're on the prowl.
Out of the woodwork on the prowl. Stay away from Swift City Arizona.
Oh,
I feel like this track for me personally, it like the song itself isn't so memorable.
Yes, I
but
agree.
the elements of the song are very memorable.
I 100% agree with
it's
that.
like definitely it's not even the middle of the album, but it's like you're getting
It's
the
for it,
album.
yeah.
It's kind of like I don't know. Again, I agree. The elements, like it's so circus themed, and I love
Yeah.
that.
I do like
Feels
circus.
you're
That
at a-
Twisted
feels like you're at a little
Funhouse.
Circus.
Yeah.
Yes, the funhouse sounds.
I like the kalimba too. That's a fun little thing. It's kind of subtle, but I feel like it helps, fill out that production, that texture,
Yeah,
It's
I like
really
this
nice.
production a lot too. And during like the dun dun, I can't like speak what the production is. I keep just like miming to you guys, expecting you to understand what
We
I'm
do this
saying.
every episode.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I try to sound out every single instrument, like whenever we talk about any
That's
of.
true.
It's
We do
it's
that.
Very
I think
fun.
something Melanie does very well, and you can hear it throughout the album. Agree or disagree, but her openers to songs really captivate you. I think
their hooks. Yeah.
the like immediate like, and again like doing the music directing here, like that's when I listen to music. Like I'm waiting. Maybe it's because albums like these where I'm like, if I don't like you in 6 seconds, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like you because these songs are like they get you. Like it's like, oh, I want
That's
to listen
true.
more.
Yeah, like, oh, what's gonna
Whereas
happen
you don't have
here?
to like wait for a build. I'm pretty impatient. I don't know.
You would hate Coldplay.
Yee.
I hate Coldplay. Don't even get me started. That's a whole episode in itself.
Well, tune
Don't
in to
have me
next
back.
week's episode. You might have
literally.
something.
My 20-minute Coldplay rant.
Oh man.
Anyway, Melanie.
What was I gonna say?
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah, that's great. Exactly. Well said.
Yeah, really not much about Carousel. It's more kind of like memorable for the sum of its parts and like what it actually brings to the table.
I remember what I was gonna say. I think it was not last week, but the week before when our one guest Andrew Marshall has said that like one of the tracks was the most fourth track ever.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the most
Track
fourth-
4.
This is the track 4 of the
Of
album.
Crybaby, yeah.
If I do say so
I
myself.
can't wait for us to get to Badlands because there's a thing with Halsey about track 4, 5, and 6, and all of her albums are cohesive, and it's like a thing.
Okay.
We'll check back on that
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
well,
boy.
stay tuned, audience, family heads, whatever the fuck we call you. All right, moving on to Alphabet Boy. I fucking hate this song. Yep.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
The baby talk.
That was
liked
so. Yeah, listen, theming wise, I love Alphabet Boy for the fact. But did you catch in the verses it goes in ABC order? Did anybody catch on to that?
Huh?
Apples aren't always appropriate. Apologies.
That's kind of cool.
Bubble gum. Did nobody catch that? She goes ABC, and then she goes, I know my ABCs.
Yeah, that's where I kind of have a problem with the theme of the album. At a certain point, you
AJ just doesn't like the theme.
yeah, because at a certain point,
AJ actually just hates children.
I just hate women.
He went a step farther. He's like,
AJ,
no. He said fuck the kids, fuck women.
Yeah,
Dude,
I take it a stand.
I'll leave now.
I was in a pocket dimension, man. What
Do
can
you
I say?
understand? We already have an angry mob outside.
Yes.
We don't need to add to it, okay? Like,
Oh my god, that was perfect.
no.
Okay,
Let me explain.
That's your beef
Okay,
with Alphabet
I feel
Boy.
like at a certain point, the theme, you just can't take it seriously anymore because it goes through like for these adult concepts taken from like a childhood lens. But it's really hard to take that seriously when she's making baby noises and talking about how she spells her name on a fridge. It's like I get what you're trying to talk about. Like you're talking about like an ex to make you feel dumb, but
Yeah.
like you sound dumb by doing this. And like, no
Yeah.
offense to Melanie, it's just like that's just my personal opinion.
Melanie comes at you.
Yeah.
You get like a cease and desist from Melanie Martinez.
You're out of here.
Atlantic Records is like, stop it.
You're just like, but it's like, no, no, listen, I was kind of feeling the same way, like a little bit at first, but then it happened, AJ. Do you know what happened?
What happened? You learned your ABCs, man?
The pizzicato strings.
Oh, dude!
That's the way to math classes hard.
Pizzicato. I like plucked strings. It's just a thing.
I see.
It's a reoccurring thing. I promise. Go
Yeah,
back and watch
I
the
agree.
episodes, Elizabeth.
Episode 1
Yeah.
or some, I don't fucking remember.
Who cares?
Yeah,
But
who gives
anyway,
a
we've been doing this for too long.
Yes, it's been a while.
No, but like I like orchestral elements in music, and when there was like fucking like orchestral hits and shit, and
Yeah.
like it was like
Like the strings are good on the song.
No, for sure.
I like that. I like the kind of this kid xylophone in there. It adds to
Yeah.
the sound. It's just the lyrics and like the overall theme I don't like.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. I can't believe you guys didn't catch that spelling. That's like, I remember.
No.
I'm not a lyrics guy.
That's my, I'm
Yeah.
such a lyrics. But I think because I listen to artists like this where
Yeah.
they'll put shit like that in it. But yeah, I get the baby talk thing.
Yeah.
It's just so, because in my head, when again, concept album, I'm like, oh, this is this theme. So it doesn't really bother me as much, but I guess like, I don't know, if you don't like that already.
Yeah, you're not gonna
Hearing it like repeated.
It just gets old kind of fast.
That's fair.
Yeah.
This is kind of like the repetitive, is it? The repetitive, I can't speak.
We'll make a cut.
You know what I mean, though? Like, the repeating in it is, like, very Atlantic Records. That's where I
Yeah.
hear kind of their input.
Okay.
Because I don't think she would have said, but, like, that many times.
She was held at gunpoint by an
Like,
exec.
the
Like, say
the
it.
whole end of it is, like, which I agree. Like, I think seeing how she writes, she could do more. But
Yeah.
the ba ba ba, the bubble ball, Squiddy. Oh man,
I know my alphabet, Squidward.
that's actually real footage of Melanie Martinez.
Talking to an exec.
Talking to that guy.
Melanie Martinez from Atlantic Records.
Oh my gosh, she's hot.
My arch rival. God, I did like the pizzicato strings. I actually kind of like the theme. The chorus, I can kind of see what
Yeah,
you mean, but I feel like the beat was a little bit dated. It used a lot of like very
Like 808s kind of a little bit like adjacent.
there
Like,
were a lot of like little sound. I don't know why I didn't write it down, but there are a lot of little like sound effects that happen in like the channels that are very much like 2010s.
Yes,
like,
yeah.
and I was like, okay, this
There's
is fine.
hints of that on there. Like as I said, I think in Dollhouse with the repeated vocals, it's like that's very much of the time, which I'm glad to see has gone away.
But
You're like 2015 pop, get away.
Get out of here.
overall, though, besides the I feel that's so fun to do. Besides that, I actually kind of like this song, but again, I don't really see myself like.
Ever going back to it like regularly? Yeah.
It's one of those tracks you're like, oh, that was nice. And then you're like, okay.
Like if you're into it, like for an album listen,
Yeah.
you'll leave it, but you never go to
I
it
think it does
individually.
its purpose with the theme. I think it's something, I mean, you don't really hear anything like that again.
Yeah.
Kind of. Elements.
Yeah.
But as far as like,
Like really leaning into it.
Yes.
Yeah. I gotcha. All right, moving on. We have Soap. This one's just kind of forgettable for me, in my opinion.
that's so, me and AJ have such different.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
so
we do.
funny.
Yeah.
Because AJ and I listen to opposites music, but I drag him to so many concerts of artists. I'll never
Like she's the reason I started going to concerts again. She just like took me to places when I was a lonely 21-year-old.
I was like, come see this random small pop artist with like 20 fans.
And then I saw more Ween concerts because of that.
No, I like Soap. I think I'm such a lyrics person, and I go back to the concept of like not being able to say something or being scared to say something. I like that. I don't know. I think it's the little like break after the chorus. I think that dun, dun,
That
dun, dun.
I disagree. I
think you
hate
just
that part.
Sounds. I think you hate these specific.
I don't. Well,
I hate sounds.
I hate music.
Andrew's a sound hater.
Women, children, music.
Sounds,
yeah.
everything. Oh my god.
I just feel like it's kind of tacky and like predictable. Like it's just weird. Like doing like a bass drop, dubstep drop to like a bubble bath is kind of a weird concept, you know?
This is the other thing. Like, this is another point in the album where the album's very wet. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
which makes
That's
sense.
like it's back again.
like I just, I do like what like the song is trying to portray. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like the chorus too. I do feel like the water bubbling sound effect, even though it is like for imagery purposes, it was a little bit much. I kind of thought
It's
like,
too on the nose.
I thought I was about to like dive into an episode of SpongeBob. You know what I mean? Like with the transitions. Yeah. But I do kind of agree where like it almost feels like a filler song.
Yeah.
Just like a little bit. But I don't hate it at the same time. Like,
yeah, like I don't dislike it as much as Alphabet Boy. It's just kind of like whatever for me.
Because she didn't go ba 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 ba.
Yeah, there's no baby talk, so that's a win. I had something else to say for this. Oh yeah, like going back to like lyrically and like thematically, I agree she has good concepts. It's just the execution I'm not a fan of.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like she actually executes it pretty okay. Not
Well,
to,
like going like off the concept, like yeah, but I just don't like the concept, so I'm not gonna like
See,
it.
Aegis
Yeah.
doesn't like
not
the
to be
concept, so it's hard
contrarian.
to-
We already
Matt's a
did that
fan
last
of this
week.
Oh
album.
shit, you're right. But yeah, overall I feel like the drum beat itself is good, just without the bubbles it would be better.
I agree.
Fair enough.
All right, moving on. We have Training Wheels. This is probably my favorite song on the album.
Can anyone guess what this song like?
It's about taking a relationship to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the only love song on this album.
I
That's
did
true.
notice
When you
that.
look
Yeah.
at this,
I did notice
it's so
that.
interesting because hearing that song, you'd be like, this isn't a love song. But then you like listen a little
Yeah.
closer, and it's a little more, I think,
Like subtle.
production-wise, it's like gentler.
Yes.
You know?
There's not a lot going on.
No, it's
yeah.
like it's really honed on lyrics where it like wants you to feel that like, oh, this is like,
It's young love.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of sweet.
Yeah. And I feel like that's really like encapsulated through the music.
That's
It's
like,
very
You can't keep telling the audience what my faces are like. No.
so funny.
I don't know about this one. Something about like relating this kind of thing to like taking
Training Wheels.
For some reason with me, it did not sit well.
This is where I'm coming from with Alphabet Boy
I
and
don't really-
Soap.
Well,
Like,
that's
yeah.
different. That's just about like showing up some like guys who think they're smart. You know what I mean? Like that's Alphabet Boy. Something about like relating like a sexual encounter to taking up training wheels off a bike is like a weird thing.
Well, it's not so much so sexual encounter. It's more just taking a relationship itself to the next level.
oh, itself?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think it is supposed to be more generalized.
Yeah.
'Cause I think,
I
again,
see.
following
Okay.
this character, I think this is the point where it's like we had Alphabet Boy who was awful and mean, and then it's like we kind of learned from that. And it's like, oh, this is
This is a good
Something's
person,
going
yeah.
well.
Okay. Okay.
So it's like letting herself kind of relax into a relationship.
Yeah.
But I think coming like training wheels, like the analogy does make you think like, oh, like someone took your virginity or something.
Yeah.
Like that's
I
where
thought
it goes.
that's what.
Because she also talks about like getting undressed too. So that there's
Yeah.
like that stuff.
I need to
yeah.
go backspace my notes. But no.
I don't think that's a wrong interpretation either. I
No.
just think it's more like,
Like Melanie's intention was more,
Yes.
yeah.
but I can see how that is. But again, I
Yeah.
could see her also like it could go either way because she would want to make someone uncomfortable. with that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm just salty because I fell off my bike. But anyway.
Matt's like, I actually can't ride a bike.
It's over soft
Matt's
spots.
like, I never took the training wheels off.
Next track. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I like the song. I think it's very sweet.
It's got really nice vocal harmonies after on the training wheel lyric itself.
I think this
yeah.
shows her vocals.
Yes.
Like
Really
her
well.
vocal capability more than any other track
Agreed.
does.
100%.
Again, I think that's purposeful. I think she wants you to sit down and actually
Yeah.
listen.
Because it's mostly just like a xylophone and just kind of like ambient like key stuff, but like and just her vocals.
That's
and,
why I love it.
Yeah.
Still keeps the theme, but a little less themey
Yeah.
than it has.
It's less like in your
been.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ambiance is very, very nice.
Yes.
For sure. For sure.
All right. Shall we move on?
Sure.
So the first thing I wrote for this song
This is
was
Pity Party, by the way.
I wrote, oh shit, it's this song. Holy shit, I actually like this song.
That's like, I know this. I like this.
So, did you know the Melanie version, or are you thinking of the '60s version?
I think it might be the 60s version
Yeah.
that I heard because like there was like a little
I
bit
take
of like
it back, Matt.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the 60s version because
Yeah.
like it was wild when I heard the melody like happening. It sounded like I said Melanie. I just didn't enunciate enough.
She's actually in the studio right
When
now.
I heard
Melanie
the,
Martinez, everyone.
when I heard the Melanie, no, but what was it? The
The It's My Party, I Can Cry If I Want to. Like that part. Yeah.
No, that was wild. I was like, shit, I know this.
Yeah, that part specifically is from the 60s song. Then everything else I think is Melanie.
I see.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't recognize it.
This is the most pop song.
100%. Yeah.
Oh,
I think. Like
most accessible.
mainstream.
Yeah.
Like my parents would listen to this and not be like, what the fuck is this? You know, like as far as the sounds and the production.
Yeah.
But
Also, like conceptually, it's nothing like too uncomfortable. It's just about, you know,
no.
like
I
being
think
happy
it's
in
kind
your
of a
loneliness.
universal. It's like that like loneliness.
Yeah.
I think it captures, and also like literally having no one show up. Like you don't have friends to come to a birthday party. I've never personally had that happen, but it's a common trope. You know?
I can sympathize.
Yeah, I can sympathize.
I feel like there are like, it's weird because like there are a shit ton of songs about being lonely, but at the same time, there's just not enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a weird thing.
Matt, you're preaching right now.
Spitting that.
I agree.
Like it's weird. Like I don't know. I like the way it's sampled. Honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I think loneliness can also be talked about in a million different ways and has a million different connections. So I think again, like I haven't heard a song about this specific type of like feeling alone.
And it works really well.
It does for sure. For sure.
Yeah. It's just solid song all around. Anything else to add?
No.
All right,
What's
moving
next?
on. We have Tag Your It.
Oh, this is when it gets
This is when it gets uber dark.
Super dark.
Yeah. This is another song where I feel like the theme kind of bogs it down a little bit, where it's such like a serious topic, and then you look through it through this lens, and you can't really take it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May I ask what the theme was for this track?
So Crybaby gets kidnapped by an ice cream man, and then there's like themes
Big
about
bad woof.
possibly sexual assault.
That's
see.
what
Yeah.
it's like. So in the theme, it's talked about being like, the character gets kidnapped. She's taken. But in terms of like general, it's kind of talking, like hinting at like sexual assault.
Okay.
Which again, it's like she's tackling these huge issues, but it's through the lens of a child. So like how, like I don't think anyone that, I can't speak for that group. But like, if you've survived sexual assault, I don't know if this would be your go-to song to like feel heard.
It feels weird.
I think it's more just like I don't know. This one, everyone has, I can speak for Tumblr core, has had like, you go back and forth about it a lot, where it's like, yes, it's the storyline and it's fine, but at the same time, it's like, if you're talking about being a general thing for people that have been sexually assaulted, I don't know if that's the right.
It's such like a touchy subject.
Yeah.
I feel
like
like
a child, like, but again, it's supposed to be uncomfortable, it's supposed to be dark.
So like 50-50 here.
Yeah.
It leans into the theme, but at the same time, should you do it in the first place?
Yeah.
It might be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There is a theremin.
So guys, I think actually we can agree it's pretty good.
No, I was just I was just acknowledging the fact of like the production wise.
Yeah.
I thought this was actually pretty good.
It's like a spooky
Production-wise,
Scooby Doo
it's good.
song. Yeah.
And also even like Tag Your It, like the concept of like putting a game like Tag Your It being chased and like connecting up with the kidnapping, like that I think is cool.
Yeah.
That makes more sense because I was wondering what the song was about.
Yeah.
This is one of the only ones where I was kind of like, what is that? Like, I'm just slow,
It's that
guys.
turn. Matt, you're not. It's that turn in the story where it's like, oh,
real dark turn.
Crybaby had no one show up to her party. Now she's kidnapped.
Yeah. She's not having a good day. I think her mom killed herself or something. it's a crybaby. Yeah. She
not doing
can cry if she wants to.
Pasco, don't collect $200.
I also got to say, this song ends really weird. It just kind of ends abruptly before transitioning to the next song, which I don't like.
Yeah.
I feel like it should either bleed into the next song or just let it end. It just kind of cuts off for some reason.
That because I think the purpose of doing that, going with the theme, was like, she's like kidnapped, done. You're not going to have a smooth, we're not going to have a smooth transition now.
Okay.
She's in a van right now. Like, I think that's how I took that at least. Because I agree. I think the album flows really well, but this is starting with like, just ends.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess it like thematically, then it fits. My music liking brain doesn't like that, but I can respect it.
Fair enough.
Shall we move on?
I think so.
All right, we got Milk and Cookies. I've heard people don't really like this song that much.
This is the track for me. How you feel about Alphabet Boy? Where
Really?
Like,
actually, I can understand.
You know what I mean? It's like, she was kidnapped. She's trying to like poison him and get out, but it's like, there's no deeper meaning to me to this. I mean, unless you two have thought of something.
Not really. It's just like a revenge song piggybacking off of Tag.
Yeah.
And then the way she goes about it, she says it is like the 1-2 pickup sticks or whatever.
Yeah. See, I think is cool. The like nursery rhyme. And the ashes. Like that. I think that's cool. Like I love those elements. But as far as like, I don't know, Just not my favorite.
I like it thematically and musically. Lyrically, that's just a thing I don't like throughout this whole album.
AJ hates the actual concept.
I kind of do.
This whole analysis is AJ going back and forth being like, I hate the concept, but I get it. But I don't like it.
It's like, I respect it, but I don't like it. Yeah.
Matt, what do you think of Milk and Cookies?
So I do agree with AJ in regards to like the last track. A crossfade from like that track to this one would have been like
mwah, chef's kiss. Love it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Onja, for real. Sorry. Sorry. What was I gonna say? So, would you say that like this is an example of, you know, like how when we were listening to Fun, you described like lyrically something called like the premature
fuck?
Yeah.
So
I feel like later there is a song that is kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because I think they use it in like the chorus.
They do that like a bunch of that this album. Like even Training Wheels, they use that every fucking thing I do. They just fuck is thrown around a lot this album, but I feel like it works here because it's not trying to draw attention to it. She's just saying it, which is what I have a problem with on Fun. It's that like Nate Roos just kind of says it, but he like emphasizes it. He wants you to know that he's saying fuck.
Yeah.
And it's really like obnoxious and cringe.
Yeah.
Tea parties and Twitter, you know? Just
Never been so bitter. God, I fucking hate Fun.
I
concept.
also hate Fun.
I do feel like this was not one of my favorite tracks, but like my fatigue point is not yet.
I gotcha.
It's like I think 2 or 3 more tracks down.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, I kind of just don't feel anything with this song.
I kind of like it, but that's just like mostly musically.
That's
I like
the
the
thing.
feel
I don't
of it.
dislike it production wise. I agree, Matt. I just didn't do much for
All
me.
right. Fair.
Like for the listen, I like Milk and Cookies
As a
Maybe
concept.
not these.
No, not really.
No. All right. Moving on, we got Pacify Her. Well, what do we think?
This one, I kind of like this one vocally. Again, this isn't one of my favorites. I don't know. I don't mind the concept either of like, it's kind of awful. She's like a home wrecker. But I think it's a cool take on it of like,
as a,
you know,
toddler.
Sticking with the theme.
Yeah.
Like pacify her. Like shut her up.
And it's like a play on words. Pacify her, pacifier. I get it.
Yeah.
This song's whatever.
Yo. What? Okay. Forgive me for asking. What thematically? Where are we at in the concept album?
Thematically, we're at she poisoned the big bad wolf. She made it away, and now she's back in the dating world, and she's
the natural progression.
And now she's ready,
as one should. Yeah.
And now she's ready. She's kind of like fucked up from that experience, and she's ready to cause extreme mayhem.
Yeah.
Is there like a reference to like someone stealing somebody's mans? In this?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's stealing someone's man.
Okay. I'm
So
glad.
she's like,
I'm glad.
I want that boy. He's gonna be mine.
Yeah.
Pacify her.
So, a couple things. The first thing was when the song started, I got so distracted by like the noises and like the channels from the beat that I had to start it again.
Matt listened twice.
I was like, but yeah, it was a very interesting because doesn't she relate to like this whole idea of stealing one's mans with a Z?
Of course,
like to taking like somebody else's toy. Is that like a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. What a very interesting way to portray this idea.
It's the concept.
Yeah.
It does fit the concept well. That's the thing. It's like
she really sticks to the concept, which is commendable.
She does.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot to say about this one either,
it's
to be
just
quite honest.
kind of whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
It is the 11th track.
Truly the 11th track of Crybaby. All right, next one is Mrs. Potato Head. This is an Alphabet Boy situation for me.
I like this one.
This is my favorite song.
I really like this
again,
one.
I like the message and the theme. I don't like the way she goes about it.
I think comparing like plastic surgery and how you like Photoshop even to a Mrs. Potato Head where you can take the parts off and replace
rearrange
them.
it,
I think that is so cool. I'm like, I can remember hearing this song for the first time and being like, that is a hit.
Literally
age 15,
me.
Like that was a hit.
It really made me want to watch Toy Story 3, but only Toy Story 3.
I just think it's really cool to compare, like, again, with the beauty standard, to compare it to that, like, just a reflection of, like, is this what I need to do to be pretty? I think it's very interesting.
Like, yeah, like, I respect it. I just don't like it. Like, the line, oh, Mrs. Potato Head, tell me, I feel like that's just kind of goofy. She's looking at Miss Potato Head as, like, this guru figure. I just can't get, like, that literal
Mrs.
thing.
Potato has never been glorified.
Yeah,
in this
as
way.
much as a Crybaby.
We don't. Yeah.
Ever since the allegations, we don't fuck with Miss Potato Head.
Oh man. One of the lyrics I really like for this song is the "Stay forever, even if her face don't stay together." I don't know why. I thought that was pretty powerful.
I think that is very powerful. And it's interesting because, like, do you guys know the filler moves throughout your body? Does anybody know that? So if you get, like, Botox or, like, filler in your cheeks, it will spread out through your body. So that's why it's, like, even if your face don't stay together because the filler doesn't last forever.
Gotcha.
So you have to keep getting it.
I've never gotten Botox or have ever heard that. So that's
Neither
very
have I,
interesting.
but a lot of influencers do.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you get bad Botox or, like, bad filler, I guess it is, it, like, moves. That's so gross to me.
Go from Mr. Potato Head to Couch Potato. You know what I mean? Like,
Rough transition, dude.
There aren't a lot of
Pipeline, the Mr. Potato.
The
there
pipeline.
aren't a lot of potato jokes I can make right now. I like this one a lot though. It is a whole ass vibe. Even like aside from like the lyrics, I feel like this is one of the ones where I was like the beat goes kind of hard in this one too.
Fair.
For sure.
Moving on, we have the last track from the base album. That's Mad Hatter.
This is where the story ends.
Yeah.
This is where Crybaby's story comes to a close.
Yeah, she's like, I'm fucking crazy,
yeah, and
dog.
she decides she's just fucking insane, and that's gonna be fine.
Understandable.
Which, like, in the storyline, it's like maybe go to therapy, right? But in like a general concept, it's kind of like a really fun, like, I'm
Embrace
gonna own
yourself,
who I am.
yeah.
Yes, I love tropes like that. That's my favorite trope across like
Be
pop
who you
music.
are.
Is like, and that was such a big thing in that era too. I don't think you people are listening to like Fifth Harmony at that age, but that's like so many of the girl groups. That was like the thing in like 2014 was like, be who you are.
Yeah, be proud.
Yeah, so that kind of like, that's her trope song, but it's in such a cool,
twist,
fun, like Alice in Wonderland-esque way, which I love.
It works as a closer very well, I think. It implements the accordion hook from Carousel a little bit in there, which is a very nice touch.
Do you love a full circle?
I like a
where you can hear
bookend.
other
I love
elements?
that, yeah.
For sure.
There's something like that on Badlands too, which we'll get to. But yeah, Mad Hatter's solid overall. Nothing like really too strong, and I feel like it ends the album very well before we get into like the deluxe tracks. Yeah, anything to add, Matt?
So, this is just random, and I think it's just like the amount of side tangents my brain was taking when listening to this. Because for a little bit of context, I listened to this like really early in the morning after a very interesting night the night before. So I was a little.
What a weird way. Like, I don't know if that's when you should be listening.
Yeah, I
You're
realized,
like Crybaby. You know?
I realize that now. I like how dystopian this track sounds for sure. It's very. It feels like a villain song, but like in the best possible way.
Yeah.
It's the villain you love to hate.
Exactly. Like most of the people on Total Drama Island.
All my homies hate Trent.
Fuck Trent. But anyway, I don't know why, but like she kept saying doctor, doctor in like this way. And the only thing I could think of was John Mulaney being like, the doctor's gone. I don't know why. That was like the only thing that ran through my brain.
Matt's only notes is that John Mulaney. He's like, that's all I got from
But I think the song started out really, really good, but it does kind of start losing my attention a little bit.
Yeah.
Toward the middle. And but the piano and the far channels are it's very nice. I also really like the juxtaposition of instruments with like the structure with like the heavy beat in the forefront, but like the lighter things feeling a bit more ethereal.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Like it's still like kind of still there, but not at the forefront.
Yeah. I love that word.
Showing a development.
The forefront.
Forefront.
I feel so like fun when I say that. Just the forefront.
I love all the best people are crazy because I think it's true. Because I am insane. Not that insane.
Yeah.
But I do love that message.
Guys, be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Be the Mad Hatter.
See, this point in the album, like this is the end of the album. And honestly, the deluxe tracks like
They don't really add anything.
I don't even think we have to go through them track by track because I think they're that insignificant in my head.
Pretty much, honestly.
It's like they're all like, it's like, here's how I picture this. Some record label man was like, we need to do a deluxe.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay.
We want more money. Make a song about a teddy bear.
Yeah, literally. I think that's so, it's just like, that to me ruins the concept.
Yes.
Which is why in my head, this album ends here.
Exactly.
I don't even like, and that's the only version on Spotify. If
it is the deluxe. It's weird. Yeah. I don't know why.
Why would you just take, I guess for streaming wise, it's like everyone goes to the deluxe. So it looks like the deluxe is doing well, even if you're not listening to any of the deluxe tracks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like, what is it? It's Playdate, Teddy Bear, and Cake.
Cake fucking sucks. I hate that song.
Yeah.
I hate that ends the deluxe
I know.
album, because Mad Hatter, in my opinion, is such a good,
It's a great closer.
Like,
It
it's
really
a
is.
bookend, and then you go back and do that. So here's the thing. I love a deluxe album. I had you listen to Badlands Deluxe because I think that's there's so many tracks on them where I'm like, I couldn't imagine it.
It's also like a different order too. So it's a different experience overall.
So it makes it like different. This is like they literally tacked on 3 songs at the end and we're like,
that add nothing to the album.
no, nothing. It doesn't go with the storyline. That's where I think Melanie lost her fight with the label. She was like, you know what? fuck
Hey,
it.
you let me get away with this enough. I'll do this for
literally,
you.
she's
Yeah.
like, but and everyone knows the album ends with
Mad Hatter. Mhm.
Like that's where it ends.
I completely zoned out for Teddy Bear. when I
That
listened
song
to
is
it.
just nothing.
It really
Yeah.
is. Like the wordplay is all right. Like I admire good wordplay, but at the same time, I definitely got a bit bored.
Like, it's just conceptually a weak song, and there's nowhere to go with it.
I know, and coming from like having such a strong storyline and
Yeah.
having such theming, you can tell that like the Deluxe tracks were really like, she's like, I did it. Like, what do you?
Yeah, what else can I say?
want?
Yeah.
And it was Playdate where I said the premature fuck because that's in the
Gotcha.
chorus.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, I don't like it when like people say fuck or like some like you have to use like profanity in like the choruses. Like
Yeah.
you can have it for
Nate
sure.
Roos would like to have a word with you.
Yeah, for real.
I agree. I think it has to add something. Or else
yeah.
you're just saying it.
Has to be a
say it.
reason.
What are you saying it to have an explicit song in your album? What do you mean?
I was
A
thinking,
real cool guy.
I was thinking more along the lines of crazy equals genius.
Yo, true. God.
Yeah.
Oh, that fucking song's the worst. God.
Oh man.
Ugh.
Yeah, Cake is also not the best either.
No,
though.
she's just
It's fine.
referring to people as cake. It's weird.
I don't. Yeah, we don't claim those 3 tracks.
We are the family album.
When
we
I
disown.
say I like Crybaby, I mean I like
Crybaby to Mad Hatter. Yeah.
And then anything outside of that, I do not claim. It's interesting because Melanie, like the second album she did is called K through 12.
Yeah.
So it took like more of like the high school experience.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Like it develops.
Yeah. So it's like the theme stayed throughout her now discography, but she's putting out music now. She has a song called Death come out. I don't know how that fits into any of this.
She looks like an alien now.
Yeah.
Which is
I mean,
interesting.
again,
okay.
I liked this album when I was 14. I still think this album stands as like a good album, but I didn't listen to like most of her other stuff.
Yeah. I don't think I'll
But-
ever explore her
Yeah.
other stuff.
I might. I mean, if there's any interesting production
David
choices,
really
I
likes
might.
K through 12.
David?
I'm not. Yeah, David.
Okay.
David and me both love Melanie Martinez, but I don't know. I don't think K through 12 does as much for me as Crybaby does.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just like I like that it's the theme, but I think again it's like it worked, so they did it again. Kind
Yeah.
of trope.
Okay, that's fair.
But David swears to K through 12. So if you like Crybaby, you might like K through 12.
I'll give it a listen. Maybe we'll return to it at some point.
Oh boy.
Just
wait.
AJ's like, not again.
I'm not
He's
strong
like,
enough.
Please no.
First fun, Panic at the Disco, and
Melanie
then
Martinez.
Oh, you guys did listen to Panic.
We did.
What
Yeah.
Panic album
I made
did
him
you
listen to
do?
Death of a Bachelor when Brendan Urie was like sort of
when he went solo.
Do you like that album?
So here's the thing, and
I'm just sidetracking.
Listen. If you want to know my feelings on it,
Listen to episode 7.
no, but that was like kind of in the similar vein where it's like I feel like this album was I really identified it with it when I was in
Yeah.
like 8th grade in high school and stuff like that. But then like it really has no cohesion whatsoever.
No.
So
It's
like,
just so disjointed.
yeah, and the opener, as AJ pointed out very well, is obnoxious.
Yeah.
I
It
feel
just
like-
screams.
I feel like with Panic, I feel like I can go through from each album, pick out like 3 songs I like. But again, as a cohesive project, I agree. I don't think.
Like, no.
I think Pretty Odd was probably their best work in my opinion.
I haven't listened to it, so I have nothing to
fun.
add.
That's the one with 9 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I assume I would like that one if it like fits that I guess like sound throughout.
Yeah. But Crybaby.
Yes, final thoughts and ratings. Matt, would you like to go first?
You know, AJ, I would love to go first.
Epic.
I'll just read what I wrote. This album as a whole was pretty enjoyable as far as content. It started off really strong and held my attention for a long time, which for a record containing 16 tracks, that is pretty impressive
yeah.
for sure. I love the usage of like the metaphors and like wordplay and like the studio imagery, despite like the album being insanely wet. I feel like it took a lot of risks and executed them pretty okay, and with like some proper mix downs. The only thing is, I feel like it's just a little bit too long, and especially like taking into account the ending 3 tracks.
Yeah.
It really adds nothing,
No.
and it doesn't do a good job finishing off the album. I guess a second time because it's the deluxe version.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like it started off so strong, but then like
It's like a downward slope, kind of, at a certain point.
musicality wise, though, I thought the album was pretty good.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think musically, I was more engaged than Badlands.
Same.
Lyrically and conceptually, however, I'm not not the biggest fan. I feel like when she leans really into the childhood lens, it feels more like infantilization. It's just kind of weird, and I can't just take it seriously. Like songs like Alphabet Boy and Tag You're It just don't work.
Alphabet Boy. It's like
Fucking bring it on, bro.
Yeah,
I know how to spell my name.
I don't know. This sounds like a WWE matchup.
AJ versus the Alphabet Boy.
Instead of Logan Paul fighting or Jake Paul fighting, it's now AJ and the
Alphabet Boy.
The only thing AJ's gonna spell is KO. Sorry.
That's pretty epic, dude.
Thank you.
The production, I agree, is pretty good. The use of sound effects, for the most part, is pretty good. It helps fill out the sound, adds to the concept. The deluxe tracks are not good. They add nothing to the album. And I feel like just listen to the base album, you'll have a better experience.
For sure.
Personally, I did not really like this album, so I'm gonna give this about like a 5 out of 10. Bordering C and D tier. I'm not sure which we're going for yet. Also, my favorite tracks were Training Wheels and Milk and Cookies.
So, listen, I love the risks that were taken in the lyrics. I feel like the mixing was also pretty good, but like, with the weak ending, so like in such contrast with like the really strong beginning, I'm going to give this like a 6.5 out of 10, maybe like a low B tier.
Okay, fair. Elizabeth.
Getting to re-listen to this album, I think, again, it's very nostalgic for me. I guess I'll give it like a 7 out of 10. I think I agree with you. I think it has a really strong start, and I don't like how it does sound like, especially the deluxe. It's like, did you give up? Did you?
Like, why is this here?
Yeah, why is this here? But overall, yeah, I love this album. It will always be one of my favorite concept albums. So 7 out of 10 for me. And I love Miss Potato Head. And what's the other one I guess Sippy Cup is honestly one of my favorites too.
It is kind of good. I feel like the original release album I'd probably rate higher just because it doesn't have the 3 songs.
It's not bogged down.
Oh, yeah.
I gotcha.
Oh, for sure.
All right, guys, that'll do it for Crybaby by Melanie Martinez. An overall interesting experience.
Thanks for doing that, guys.
Of course. Thank you for enlightening us. But I feel like it's time we move on to our next album, Badlands by Halsey. What do we say?
Please.
We might as well.
I'm so excited to hear your thoughts. You're getting defensive already. This is like my child. I think, honestly, judge me if you want, this is one of my all-time favorite albums.
Really? I was gonna ask you like later, like how this stacks up to other Halsey records, because she's your favorite artist, right?
She is my favorite artist, yes. For everyone, it's so funny because she's so polarizing, even in the industry, which is kind of interesting. Like, people either love or hate her. I think, this is my favorite Halsey
That's
album.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a nostalgia. I think it has such a sound to it. I love all her albums. There hasn't been an album where I'm like, oh, this is fine. Like, I really love her writing, and I think she's very smart and strategic in how she creates. But yeah, I love Badlands.
All right. Well, I guess a little background on it. It was released August 28th, 2015 on Astroworks Records, and it's a concept album about a dystopian society metaphorically created by Halsey's state of mind at the time, keeping its inhabitants held captive, and it uses the Badlands as an escape from reality. So a pretty interesting concept, I think, which is unfortunately I don't think super followed like closely. Like, you get the vibe.
It's super loose, and I think more of the concept comes from like the music videos or like the live shows.
Gotcha.
Like, I think it's portrayed in different ways. But the Badlands is supposed to be like an extension of like, not extension, but Room 93 was the EP, like the original EP.
Yeah.
I did
which
listen
Matt
to it.
texted me.
Yes,
doing
I did
extra work
listen to
and
it.
listen to. Room 93 is the EP, and then the Badlands is what lies outside that room.
Gotcha, okay.
That's like the extension from that. I want to hear what you thought of Room 93 though before we get into Badlands.
So let me start off with a question. Hurricane is probably the single.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
New Gold was also pretty good.
Empty Gold.
Empty Gold.
New Gold is Gorillas.
You are right.
You're close.
What the fuck?
Whoops. Yeah, that'd be Watto Gorillas had like a... Dude, I killed a fucking
Halsey
hear that.
feature.
To be honest though, like, forgive me, but I don't really... Maybe it's just because like this album was also pretty hefty in length.
Yeah.
Listening to like the EP and then this, it just felt very long, and I didn't feel like I really got anything from it.
Fair.
But Empty Gold,
Empty Gold.
Empty Gold, and Hurricane were pretty good.
Yeah.
That's what I have to draw from that.
Did you not like Is There Somewhere?
No.
Do you want to hear something really interesting about that song? Because again, it wasn't like, I necessarily wouldn't even call it like a favorite from when that EP came out, but Halsey met a fan one time, and the fan made her promise that she will always sing Is There Somewhere. So she has sung it at every one of her shows, and she goes in the crowd for that song. So it's like the fan song. So I think that's why I like that song so much.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like connected to that. And it's like, she really promised a 14-year-old in 2014 to sing the song. And in 2020, when she toured, she sung it. Like, every show, which is crazy. And just I don't know.
It's
I like that
commendable.
part of
Like
it.
the fan engagement, that's respectable. That's cool.
With
Yeah.
that context, honestly, I have respect for it for sure.
I think
I'll
Halsey,
re-listen.
truthfully, this is just going to be me. This whole segment's going to be me like, I think Halsey is, but really, I think she's really good at fan engagement. I think that's something she like hones in on because she was a fan.
Yeah.
And I think that's why she's curated such a good fan base. It's not based off singles. It's not based off, you know, you go to her shows and it's people that know every single song. And I love shows like that. I hate shows where you're there
For like one song.
Yeah. Most
Like
people are
Steve
there-
Lacy, that's been happening recently. That shit sucks.
It's like people go for the one song at the end. And it's like, well, why didn't you listen?
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you going to listen to the rest of it? But it's like you go to shows and it's like she also like people that camp for her shows. Like she'll buy them pizza but make sure they have water. Like
That's pretty sick.
It's just she's really good at keeping her fans engaged and feel safe. And so I really respect that about her, which I think is like Badlands to me is so nostalgic of that like beginning era when she could meet everyone and she did for free. So I didn't get to go see Badlands live though. Fun fact. My parents wouldn't let me. I was too young. They're like, you're not going to Philly.
That's tragic.
And I still
Damn.
regret that. But it's not, she sings it a lot still. So
Okay.
all is well in my world. But anyway, Badlands.
Time to dive right in, starting with the opener, Castle. I think it's a solid introduction for this.
It's a really strong start.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the production on this I think is really sick. Also, what did you guys take as like the concept of this track?
Well, this is like her going into the Badlands itself, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
concept wise, but I mean more like general.
Well, it's like, talking about like the patriarchy. There's an old man sitting on the throne telling
Yeah.
you probably shouldn't be so mean,
Yeah.
taking that down.
That's what I was also going to say.
I see it as that, but also I see it as like the background of her at this time is like she just had a few singles come out. She was starting to get like a little radio play. Like New Americana was starting to like that
Okay.
was the single from this, and that was starting to pick up traction. I think I take this as like old man singing on the throne is like the old people in the music industry, and her being like, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
take you down.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's fair.
That's how I like to think of it. at least.
Especially considering how the album ends, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I think it's honestly like it's such a strong start for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I like this whole cinematic pop vibe we're going
Yeah.
for here.
Oh, the industrial pop.
It
Industrial
sounds
pop's so good.
It sounds like a WWE entrance.
It does all the shit it does.
And I kind of love it. Honestly, a lot of the tracks on here kind of sound like a lot of either like the in-between music or like the entrances.
Yeah.
And I respect the hell out of it for sure. The beat is a little bit aggressive.
yeah,
for
but I feel
me,
like that's kind of like
it fits.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like I just wasn't vibing with it when I was listening to
I
it.
feel like it's lacking like a little bit of a punch though. I feel like there's a lack of bass throughout this album.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It's
was
more
also
synth. It's
Yeah.
a lot of synths.
Like I feel like if there was a bass, it would have just like made these tracks pop so much more.
It's funny because this is her. She opens with Castle every tour. Every tour,
That's
Castle's
cool.
the walkout song.
pretty dope.
Yeah.
And for the chorus, I see Castle as so intense because I think of it as that as like when the chorus
Yeah.
drops, she makes you jump and she'll scream and like the whole room jumps. So it's very intense in that. And they do add more elements.
Yeah,
live.
I can
But I do
yeah.
agree. Listening like Badlands live is so much better than it.
Yeah. I
track.
even know when we get to Strange
I
Love
wish I
about
could
that.
take you.
Yeah.
See, I could have had you guys listen to the live album, but I kind of hate live albums sometimes for
Yeah.
like trying to analyze music because it's like that's not who Badlands was. It's
Yeah.
core, you know. But anyways, I digress.
We'll get there when we get there. Yeah, Castle's a solid opener, I feel like. Really sets the tone for the album, if lacking a little weight, but otherwise, pretty good song. Moving on, we have Hold Me Down. This is more, I guess, like a accessible kind of pop song. It has that hook in the chorus.
Oh, yeah.
That really encapsulates the 2015 era, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I like that little like chip tune synth that's happening. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
See,
What?
that's how I describe these sounds. I've no
Yeah.
way to Ugh. No, I love Hold Me Down. I also love throughout this album, I'm sure you guys call it, she plays with religion a lot.
Yep.
And like the concept of that, I love artists that do that for whatever reason. I think it's so interesting. I love people's different
I just
takes
hate
on it.
religion, so whenever
That's
they take it down.
Listen, there's another thing we can bond over in like terms of our generation. It's religious trauma.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Fair.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this does feel the most like, I think one of the most like radio friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another one later on that I feel like does it way more egregiously. But
Yeah.
it's a solid follow up, I think. I like the synth effects a lot. About not letting men hold you back, rising up against the man.
Do you guys see why I love this album so
Yes.
much? Like
This
just
is
the
Elizabeth
it's-
core.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like
Elizabeth
everything
core.
I stand for. It's Elizabeth core.
No, it's solid. I actually really like this one. Like the
Yeah.
vibe when it starts, like right at the beginning. I was already pretty hooked on it.
The
for
synths
sure.
are really good on the song too.
I also love like the fucking blasting bass in your ears at one point, dude. It kind of fucks.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
it's not bad. Not bad.
I also like the hook. The hook for this one's really good. I like
Yeah.
the hook for this one and the next one.
I agree.
I love her writing. I think her writing.
Yes.
And there's so many little things you can pick up. Like she has so many one-liners. where I think it's just,
I will say Halsey's the strongest part of this album, like her vocals and her
Yes.
lyrics.
which
Like,
I think, again, as a debut,
Yeah,
is
that's impressive.
really crazy to go for. Because, again, you could, and not that she doesn't, but you could rely on more of like the production,
the music,
bass, and traditional pop, but it's like it really hones in on her writing.
Yeah, because you can only go up from there if this foundation's solid.
Oh, for sure. And she wrote this album by herself.
Wow.
Yeah, this is her. She'd come already. Halsey writes where she comes with 97% of the song done and just finds someone to do it.
Good for Halsey.
And she was 19.
Respect.
19.
That's wild.
I don't know.
Fuck,
It's
dude.
so, like, I couldn't do that at 19. Especially, like, even the metaphors. Like, I could not understand that. Like, I listened to this when I was, like, 16, 15. And still, I don't think, like, I go back and I still pick up on things. I'm like, oh. Like, I didn't know that when I was 16.
I barely remember being 19. Like,
Yeah, literally. Let alone,
like nothing
like,
happened. But
Yeah.
no, honestly though, I do like this one.
Yeah, solid. Moving on to New Americana. I also like this one a lot. I like the kind of marching feel it has to it.
single, yes.
It's like an anthem.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
I don't know if this is the point necessarily, but it definitely is kind of like a younger generation. Like,
Yeah.
it is an anthem.
It's about, like, rising
and I think
up,
it
yeah.
was written for that purpose because she, again, like her whole, especially this era, she was like, so like, I'm gonna do what I want. Like, this is like, you know, the younger generation, blah, blah. And she's still like that, but that was like the era of her like honing
Really in her
on that.
prime,
Yes.
Like, like the Raised on Biggie and Nirvana, basically showing like the new generation's taking over and watch out. Yeah.
Thanks, Biggie.
Shout out to Biggie Nirvana.
Shout out to Biggie. Shout out to Kurt. We love you.
Nah, the beat in this one really goes hard. Like, I think this is the one. This is probably like the track that I will listen to. Like, I can see myself listening to this. Like, if I'm just like, yeah,
That marching snare is just such a good hook.
it
It's
really
so nice.
is. I also like just the rhyme of Americana and marijuana.
Legal marijuana.
Yeah.
That's great.
I like that a lot. Yeah, it checks off all the boxes.
Yeah.
Not just chill and sad like the last not like the last one.
Matt has developed another personality trait.
No, like it checks off all the boxes for me. Like, I really like this one. It's strong and I don't know. I felt kind of like
Empowered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
United we stand.
Thank you, Halsey.
Salute, Halsey.
All right, moving on. We have Drive. I feel like it's a bit of a downgrade from the past three. It's fine, but like I'm just not really huge on it.
I love a theme in that beginning where you hear like the yeah.
A nice
Yeah.
car open tone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the car and like in the like
That's good
I
ambience throughout.
think it goes. I'm trying to remember if it's the first verse or the second verse, but you hear like the
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I think Drive is so. It's kind of like it was one of the songs when I first like when I was 16. I was like, oh, it's Drive, but like as I got older, I really like it.
Okay.
It's kind of calmer, I think, than some of the songs.
Yeah, it's a nice calm down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coming from again, like you said, like
Yeah.
Hold Me Down to New York, kind of like two big like
Yeah, like in your
just,
face
like,
songs. Yeah.
All we do is drive.
It's a nice kind of like a refresher, and it definitely fits like the pacing of it.
Now
very
we're getting
well.
into the 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, so there's
So
a
they all
concept here.
connect.
Okay.
In every Halsey album, there's a 4, 5, 6, and they normally flow together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all kind of like not necessarily connect, but it's like a thing.
Okay.
Where, like all of her albums now, she has like a thing where she has to be like 4, 5, 6.
Gotcha.
It's like
I
you
see.
listen to those; they're meant to be listened to in order.
Interesting. Do you have any like insight on like how they tie in together, or is it just like
I don't know, to be honest. I mean,
fair enough?
listen, I'm trying to. What is so? It's
Drive, Hurricane, I think Roman Holiday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great movie.
We'll get to that track.
What was it? I was gonna say, it's funny I mentioned Gorillaz by saying New Gold
Gold.
earlier. I actually have a note that like the mixdown reminds me of something off of Plastic Beach.
Interesting. I would say more than Now.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I like I think it's either the second or the last chorus when it's the male and the female vocals are both in the left and the right channel. That's just so fucking cool. That just reminds me like, and also the instrumental itself reminds me of the more stripped back production of the Now.
I did like when I first listened to Drive on this album.
Yeah.
To clarify. No, not by the Cars, but what was I gonna say? When I first listened to it, I actually didn't like it,
Okay. Yeah.
but then I re-listened to it this morning and I was like, you know what?
Do you see what I mean? It like hits
Yeah,
at different times where
does.
it's like
Yeah.
initially it's like, oh, it's fine, but then it's like I don't know. It has such like a flow to it that some days it's just really nice.
It definitely is a vibe.
Yes.
Like it has
It
that
is.
kind of that synth wave kind of feel, which I like a lot.
Yeah,
But other than that, it's just kind of it's solid. I'll give it that.
sure.
All right. Next up, we got Hurricane.
I love Hurricanes.
It's got that nice cool synth hook in there. That's fun.
I feel like I wish that like the last track flowed into this one because
Yeah.
they sound so similar.
I agree.
Like I get marketing wise though, like I imagine they want to keep it as separate as possible. We don't want like an American Idiot kind of situation where like all the great songs are connected
in
to
the
like
first half.
are connected to like,
Are We the Waiting? Yeah.
Hey, I like Are We the Waiting?
Sorry, Extraordinary Girl.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah. But I do like this one. This one I can see why it's the single. It does have a lot of really fun synth stuff going on.
Hurricane, to me, just calling yourself a hurricane I think is so badass. It's like you're a wreck, but it's like
you're gonna take him down with you.
Yeah, literally. It's like take it or leave it. I love Hurricane live. Again, I think of like the live visuals when she performs live. Obviously not when she was starting out, but when she got budget and she had this big screen, she has like a whole like thunderstorm going on behind her with
sick
like
as
pinks
fuck.
and blues, and it's like the air. See, when I think of Halsey, I think of live because I just have to take you both to all the show. That's what this is saying.
Oh boy,
bro, I'll gladly go. I love
she
concerts.
just got announced. I fought for tickets. I bought tickets off Twitter, actually. She's playing in New Jersey. She's actually to benefit the arts program of Newark, I think it is.
Okay.
She's playing with the live string orchestra.
Whoa.
So she's doing all her songs stripped
Yeah, that's
back.
kind of sick.
Listen,
Good luck. I went through
there's-
4 ticket sales and I bought them off Twitter. That's
I
how
know where
got
Newark
them.
is.
Damn.
I'll just sneak in. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, they got those pizzicato
I'm
strings,
literally
man.
about to say, if there are strings involved, I
imagine
will be
like,
on there.
Imagine Drive with the full orchestra.
Yeah.
That's just like someone. I'm so excited to hear these songs like that. But yeah, and all the money is going to like the Arts Foundation.
Yeah.
She's taking no profit.
That's pretty dope.
What a Chad.
I know. 'Cause she's a Jersey girl. I don't know if we talked about that.
Oh no.
No fucking
She
way.
grew
Is she
up-
actually?
Yeah, she's Jersey girl, and she used to her name's Halsey because her real name's Ashley. It's like an anagram of that, but
Okay.
she used to get off at the Halsey stop in Brooklyn,
Oh,
and there's also a
okay.
fountain there, and that inspired the second album. Everything's like connected in her little world.
The Halsey lore.
But she is a Jersey girl. She grew up, I think, in Edison, so like pretty close to her, like an hour and a half or something.
Damn. Good for Halsey.
Love
Yeah.
to hear it, but I love Hurricane. I think the production's really fun. I don't know. I just think it's the concept I love. See, I'm such a lyrics person, and I feel like maybe I don't know. Matt, I feel like listens to both, but you definitely are.
Yeah, I'm
big
just more
production.
music. Yeah.
That's actually no. What's funny is I feel like when it comes to like what a song is about, AJ's usually a lot better at that than me. I'm usually just kind of like, this sounds nice.
I also just
You know
kinda,
what
I also
mean?
like look up stuff just to like know what it is because I can't really pick up from that from like
and
a
I
lyric.
don't.
Like, I don't.
That's the difference
like-
between you and I, man.
That's why you're a perfect duo.
Yeah. We're the yin and yang, you see.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Anyway, Roman Holiday.
it's a great movie.
I really like this song a lot.
it's good
This
actually.
is my favorite song. I have so many favorites on this album, but this is like top 3.
I think it's my favorite.
It's like the production of it. It makes you feel like you're 15 and falling in love. Like it's so nostalgic, and it was
Yeah.
inspired by Roman Holiday. She wanted it to sound like it could come out of, like The Breakfast Club or like Roman
Yeah.
Holiday or something like that.
Roman Holiday is a great film.
I've never seen it.
It's quite Gregory Peck's finest, in my
Damn.
opinion.
I gotta see it.
Again, and this song live like hits.
Yeah, that
like,
fucking
with-
synth solo.
Oh.
Ooh.
and like the end where it's like the
So fucking good.
It goes so
Yeah.
hard live. I love Roman Holiday. I think it's like the perfect like young
The coming
love,
of age
fun.
song.
Yes,
Yeah.
a good coming of
Yeah.
age song. So
Beautiful.
nostalgic. I heard that when I was 16 too. I was like the perfect age for
Yeah.
that.
Very formative.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, I love the outro too, for sure.
Yeah.
The outro has a lot. Like for me, like I was like, wow, this
It's
capped
just
it
a
off
strong
nice.
record.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
all around, like top to bottom. I love it.
I feel like at a certain point, it starts losing my interest, but at the first half, it's really good. It's just
Yeah.
like musically, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty repetitive in the sense, except for
Yes.
the end.
The end. The end is so fucking good. It's got like 80s nostalgia too,
Yes.
just because it leans so heavily on the synths,
Yes.
which is so good.
Love.
Anyway, the next track's actually Ghost.
Go.
I really like this song a lot.
I love the beginning where it starts off slow and then it goes, I'm like innocent, like that angsty, like
Yeah.
fast.
Like in your face kind of.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
This is another one where the usage of channels is really, really good.
Yeah.
I love the guitar and the left and right channels and stuff.
The guitar is really fucking good.
The verses are also like really, really good in this one. I like those a lot.
It's kind of like fast rappy almost, but not. It's like I love stuff like that though. When you
Yeah.
go from slow to fast, slow
Fast
to
speed,
fast. Yeah. It keeps your attention. I feel
It
like this
does.
is a track that really does keep your attention.
I especially love that guitar. Like that's just something that's been like kind of missing throughout like musically. So having like more instruments in there, I just like really grabs my attention, which I like a lot. I also like kind of towards the end the heartbeat section where during the slowdown, that's really cool too.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. I actually really enjoyed this one a lot.
Yeah.
This was also on the EP.
It was on the EP. That
Yeah.
was, I think, that might have been the first single off the EP.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I should honestly not say that because you've listened to it like way more than I have.
Man, are you mansplaining to a Halsey fan?
My bad.
That's the cardinal sin.
I'm not the one who hates women, AJ. Okay, like excuse me.
It doesn't count because we already talked about Crybaby.
Shit, you got me there.
Don't worry, I'll say like 3 Hail Marys. We'll be fine.
Religious trauma.
I don't want to be on the episode where you guys get canceled.
Oh, it's okay. We already had
We
that.
did. That happened. That was episode 2.
I'm never looking at the comments on that video ever again.
No, it made me feel really bad.
But yeah, Ghost is pretty cool.
It's really solid. I like it a lot. Moving on to Colors, however, this is one of my least favorites.
That's so interesting because it's like the world's favorite.
Their favorite. Maybe that's why it feels like too poppy. It reminds me of her Chainsmokers song.
Yes.
Which I don't like.
Nobody likes Closer. Except actually when she performs live, she strips that down to like just a piano and it's actually kind of sick. She'll like belt it.
And
So
also
it's
probably
cool.
better because the Chainsmokers aren't there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chainsmokers aren't there. She belts it. It's a piano stripped down version. So that kind of slays.
Yeah.
But yeah. Colors is such like, that was the Tumblr Halsey.
Yes, I would say that's like so Tumblr core.
Oh, do you know? You're kidding. Do you know how many like things, you don't know what Tumblr looks like the feed on Tumblr where you scroll. Think of like an image and it's like, you were red. And you're like, me. Like that was everywhere.
I was reading the comments.
Like, every 15-year-old, like that was like, they got that tattooed. That was like, nobody can write better than that.
That was
line.
the shit, honestly.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love that line. I think it's great. I like the concept of Colors, of the fact of like, the whole song's about kind of like losing someone you love. Not physically lose. I guess they
like
didn't die.
It's about like drug.
Yes, it's drug abuse. So it's like you're seeing someone's colors fade away.
Yeah.
So I like the concept of it in the sense of like, I think it's interesting and I think it's written really well. But I get the Tumblr-esque
complaints.
vibe.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was like the intro. I love like the spacey vibe that kind of happens. It's like it's like a different level of ambiance almost.
Yeah, it's also just not where you would expect the song to go afterwards, which is really cool.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I could like listen to it just music wise on repeat. Like even like with like the lyric, and the lyrics are also really, really good. But I feel like I can also just listen to like even just the intro on repeat like over and over again. Like it's so good. I love the whole "he's so devoid of color, don't know what it means" line. I feel like that's just like really well said. The spoken word bit.
Yeah.
Listen.
It's so Tumblr 2015.
Yes.
It was weird. It kind of reminded me. I don't know why I'm thinking about like so many movies today. It kind of reminded me of like that one part. Have you ever seen the original like Christopher Reeve Superman?
Nah.
No. Oh, you guys are missing out. But there's like a spoken word part in this little instrumental, and it's interesting to say the least. Not bad, but interesting. It kind of reminded me of that like a little bit for some reason.
Oh, how so with Superman?
Well, Lois Lane, like there's this like it's like the flying sequence in like the original Superman movie.
Yeah.
And it's like this whole like amazing like, oh my gosh, he's Superman, but they're falling in love. You know what I mean? Like it's like that kind of deal.
Yeah.
And Lois Lane like reads like a poem or whatever, and it's like to this like crazy underscored music, and it's cool.
That's
actually.
pretty cool.
It just reminded me of that for some reason.
Gotcha.
I don't know why. As you can see, I go on a lot of side tangents when I listen to music. I kind of wish the bass was highlighted a little bit more on this song. I think like that's just sort of like the main issue I have with the song is like what I feel with the whole album is like I feel like it sounds like almost a bit too manufactured.
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like it doesn't have a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Because the bass would really just help with that. I also feel like musically it gets repetitive at points. So it's kind of hard to differentiate the tracks. And they also have almost the exact same song structure, like verse, pre-chorus, chorus.
And like tempo.
Yeah,
too.
tempo is the big one.
That's like a huge one for sure.
Yeah, it is for sure the pure pop song of this album.
Yeah.
I do
Or
respect
one.
the hell out of it though, honestly. Like, especially now that I know the context that she like literally wrote all of it.
At 19,
herself.
yeah.
That's fucking
It's an
wild.
impressive debut, and like she has a lot of
Again,
potential.
A debut.
Yeah.
That's what's so crazy. It's like the EP, yeah, but a lot of songs on the EP did make it to the album. So it's like, what, there's 2-3 songs on the EP that were on the album? Crazy.
Pretty good. Good for you, Halsey.
Do you know who this song's about? Does anybody have a guess?
It was the dude from the 1975. I read a comment.
Maddie Healy, yeah.
Really? Oh.
Maddie Healy. Because everyone picked it up because there's a line about how your mother only smiles on her TV show, and his mom was like a news anchor, something in media where it's like people were
You
like,
Make Me Chives, 1975. I caught that one. That was pretty good.
everyone was like, "Whoop." So
Go next to a beehive with a 1975.
love.
I'm just trying to think of anything.
Hey, man, I respect it. Colors Part 2.
Okay, hot take. So I feel like this could have just been like labeled as a remix and put on like an extended version, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's cool sounding, but it doesn't really need to be here.
Yeah. It's definitely just like an extension. It honestly, to me, kind of feels like background vocals plus the thing that they cut out of the original colors. I think honestly that was thrown in there literally. I think she thinks so much about her live shows. That's such a big component of her as an artist. And I think that honestly, because it's used as like an interlude live, where it's like you go from Colors Part 2, the stage goes dark, Hurricane. Like that's how it's always been. But yeah, I don't mind it. I think it's a fun...
Like, it's a cool, like, instrumental. The ambiance is really cool.
Yeah, it keeps that same energy, like, transitioning into the next track.
That was what I was actually going to ask you about, like, in terms of, like, a visual aid. Like, for Colors Part 2, is there any sort of, like, visual aid, like, live? Like, it just goes dark?
Is there a picture of the 1975?
Maddie Healy
on the screen.
at the forefront.
I'm trying to think. The last Halsey show I was at when she did this, she does colors, stage goes black, and when it goes, everything is blue, she spits water up.
That's pretty cool.
Which is why I was saying earlier, the towel. We talked about this a little bit.
I see.
People like towel the stage. I don't know why they can't use like a mop, but it's men with towels that run. I don't know if that's like her. I don't know what that is.
She's making them work.
But that's like kind of the stage goes dark. There's like, they play with like the lights, you know, there's red, there's blues, and then it's like everything. There's a blue light, and then the water shoots up where you can see it in the blue light.
That's really cool.
So that's fun.
I wonder how much the towel people get paid.
I would love to know. How do you even get that job? Like,
can I
Halsey towel,
are you
man.
on the tour?
Can I
Are you
apply?
a venue? Like, is that on your rider where you're like, hey guys, just have towels on your
I've cleaned for the 1975.
Someone find these people. They get paid to like
towel people.
Run. Because it's so funny, because maybe that's why they do the stage dark, so they clean up the water and they just play with the lights. But then it goes into Hurricane and then it's like blue and the... I'll just show you pictures of the Hurricane one because I think that's so slay.
Hell yeah.
But anyways.
Strange Love, I think, yeah. So I like the live version a lot more.
Did you listen to that guitar?
I did listen to the guitar. The guitar is really
Did you
good.
listen to that
I
guitar?
did not.
Demerit, Matt.
That was like that was the biggest eye roll I've ever gotten from anybody.
Matt, you're getting a seat here for this episode.
Oh man, shit!
I'm making AJ edit more because you need to hear just the first 30 seconds.
Oh,
of this
boy.
Strange Love.
I thought you were about to be like, I'm making AJ edit you out right now.
All right, we're gonna cut, and we're back. Matt listened to the guitar riff. It was pretty fucking good.
Bro, that kind of fucked. Not gonna
Doesn't
lie, that was pretty
slay?
good.
It's like, because here's the thing. Strange Love, when I first listened to it, isn't like necessarily my favorite.
Yeah.
But like the production they add to it, I think makes it. But also like Strange Love is one of my favorites. I love it in the sense of like, I love the concept of it, of like, it's like her being in a public relationship in the media and trying to navigate that.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't catch that.
You know, and you open, because it's like, so raw of the everybody wants to know if we fucked in the bathroom sink.
Okay, yeah,
I
that makes
love that
sense.
opener. I think it like grabs it. It's like, oh. And then it goes through like, then the second verse is like the breakup of like, everyone wants to know if I'm going to speak your name. So I think that's really interesting. It's like, I don't tell you anything. Like, this is my life.
Yeah.
And it's her kind of grappling with like, I'm in the media, now I have to be a public figure, but people know this and I hate that they know this. And it's like that back and forth, which I really like.
That is pretty cool.
I like any analysis of the media. That's like my favorite concept.
Yeah. I will say I do like the guitar better on the live version. I feel like on the studio version, this is just me, but it sounds like the fucking Walker Hayes Applebee's song, and I hate that so much.
Not that comparison.
That just like that just sent me somewhere.
Yeah,
that reference itself is just like such a like.
But you can hear it, right? Like on that first chord, it just like brings me to it, and I hate that.
Here's what I think about this album as a whole, though. I think because the theme of it is the dystopian, like whatever. It's the production's pretty dull in that sense, which I think is why it's so different when it's live, because it's like it's not.
We're not in the Badlands anymore.
Yes, I'm sure for the Badlands tour there was less elements of that, but when she's doing like her second album, she throws Badlands songs in. It's like a whole revamped.
Yeah.
But I still like, again, I love a theme. It fits the theme of like a dull. Strange Love, though, I will say is too long.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think by the last minute where we're still going, and I can fucking tell you anything. Like, girl, we got it. That could have been a 3.5 minute song. Why is it 4.5 minutes? Like, cut the last minute. I love the verses. I love the concept of it, but I don't know. There's a lot of discrepancies for that song.
I really feel like the synth pads and like the keys on top of like the beat and stuff like that, making it sound so like ethereal again. Like it highlights the lyrics so well.
It does.
So,
It's very complimentary.
I did not hate this track whatsoever, but I did wish I heard the guitar initially.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, sure, I just made you guys listen to the live version instead of the other version, but I don't think that's Badlands. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like you wouldn't be able to hear as much. It would have been too like a concert.
Yeah, you're gonna miss like the experience of the actual album itself.
But now I encourage you both to go back and listen to the live versions because I think you would like, even like the end of Colors, I think you would like more. Anyways, that's besides the point. But
I think the lead into the chorus is probably my favorite part with this track.
I like how it starts like kind of like really dark, but it gets progressively lighter as it goes through each like section. Pre-chorus, chorus is really nice, and then the chorus is just a really nice payoff. I like that a lot. Anything else on Strange Love?
No.
I've said my piece with that song.
Moving on, we have Coming Down. This is more religious metaphors.
This is one of my favorites. I think sonically, it's very pretty. It's very light. It's very airy. I think the writing's just so good.
The acoustic guitar is really nice too, having that in there.
I just love this song.
Matt, what do you want to say?
So, you guys remember that one TikTok where like that like group, they were doing that song, it was like, I am sitting in the corner. That shit.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that song. I don't know. I don't even know what the group is called or what the song is called, but like it reminds me of that a little bit. I don't hate it whatsoever. I actually love like the white noise shit in the beginning. I feel like it really adds to like the whole vibe. It makes the song feel a bit more like alive in a weird sense.
There's a one-liner in here. Did anybody catch it?
No, probably not.
No? Any lines stick out to anybody?
No.
I'm speaking for the Halsey fandom. We're so
I'm sorry. No, not really.
Sorry.
No. There's a line that says, with his educated eyes and his head between my thighs, I found a savior. That was a big Tumblr. That was big Tumblr core.
Yeah, that makes sense. That'll do it.
I see. Yeah.
I do love the whole concept of like the religion aspect of it, like comparing like a guy to like a savior.
Yeah, it's like I found God in a lover and the devil in a lover. Yeah.
It's like that duality.
Yeah. The yin and the yang, if you will.
But like at 19,
Yeah.
I could never have.
Well, she went through some shit like when she was like starting out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's had a rough.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody kept up with or knows anything, just like mainstream info about Halsey. She dated G-Eazy, and that was probably like,
the bad arc.
awful.
She dated G-Eazy?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Have you not heard the hit song "Him and I, Matt," where there's a line that says, G-Eazy sings, if she ever caught me cheating, she would cut my dick off, and then he literally cheated on her, and everyone on Twitter was like, so?
Halsey, where you at?
Yeah, like, keep your promises.
Damn, foreshadowing.
Yeah, literally. No.
That's wild.
Halsey's trope, though, in the media is that she has a boyfriend and loves to bring them into her writing process or anything. She dated Machine Gun Kelly. He was in a music video.
That's so unfortunate.
Machine Gun Kelly, Maddie Healy, Youngblood, who else? G-Eazy.
Why the pop punk the pop punk boys?
She loves that.
Damn, that's her aesthetic.
I'm sure like a ton of other people no one actually know. Oh, Evan Peters.
Oh.
Like the actor?
Like
that was most recent.
Shit.
But then now she's with like some photographer man who I forget his Aliv, and they have a baby. So she's done for that. But there was a lot of that, like that's the thing with the media, and it only got worse. Where it was like it was Maddie Healy at the time, which is where that whole concept, you know, of like people analyzing your relationship, but then she goes into like G-Eazy, where it's like the most public relationship with like a literal abuser.
Oof.
Yeah, I have heard that guy's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Awful. Yeah, she's been through a lot in general, though.
Yeah.
I mean, she grew up pretty poor. She grew up in like not.
She got kicked out of her house.
Got kicked out of her house. Whole thing. She used to be in Philly a lot, actually, because again, she grew up on the East Coast, so she'd like party here a lot. Like my old manager at work actually like knew her because of, like they're around the same age, and she'd just be in Philly for like random parties.
Damn.
He didn't have good things to say about her, but
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Just like a man.
Yeah. Like every man that's ever met Halsey. But people, that's the thing. I feel like sometimes she gets shit for reasons she shouldn't. Like there was a whole thing with Hangout Fest. There was things like Doja Cat dropped out. Well, this is rumored actually, so I don't even know if this is true. But there was rumors with Hangout Fest that Doja Cat dropped out because Halsey wouldn't give up her headline spot. I don't know if this is true or not. I have no info.
Take this with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
family
grain of
heads.
salt. But if that's the truth, like, why should Halsey lose her headline spot? They gave it to her. I wouldn't give up my headline spot. That's a whole different time change. That's a whole different stage. Like, she has a show.
Yeah.
So people, if that's really the reason, and people were like mad at Halsey for not giving up, like people on Twitter were like, that should have been like Doja Cat should have got that. It's like, well, that's not how the festival booked it, babe.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want her to do?
It's her spot.
Exactly.
It's like, great, if Doja Cat's gonna throw a fit and drop out.
Go to a different festival. Go to Doja Land.
Yeah, literally. Again, could be true, could be not true. But if that's true, like, why did Halsey get so much shit for that?
Kind of cringe Doja Cat. I know you're listening.
I hope that isn't true. I love Doja Cat too. But like, yeah, I don't know. People have, I'm such a, this is me like at my core, like my youth. I'm like, because Halsey, I don't know. I could talk for hours about this.
I feel like the more and more we're like being like, oh, shout out to you, Doja. Like, I feel like we're doing all that stuff. We should play a game of how many subreddits can we get to hate us.
We got one so far, baby. Actually, I don't even know if we have one.
Oh, I hope so.
We'll see how many come out. How many? I mean, you're talking like this is like not that the other albums you listen to don't have fans, but you're dealing with like now like young
The mainstream stuff, yeah.
Like,
I don't think the Steely Dan fandom's gonna come after us anytime soon.
No, that subreddit's not gonna
hit us.
Dude,
Steely Dan Circle Jerk, my favorite subreddit. Dude, I hope they love us. I fucking love them.
Dude, if they're coming after us, they're going to be attacking us with their walkers. You know, like,
how dare you say you don't like Peg, young man?
No, you get emails. You're gonna get emails versus like a comment.
We're gonna get like pigeons and carriers.
yo, not the pigeon carriers.
Like a little squirrel.
To whom it may concern, your opinion on Peg is fucking presumptuous.
literally.
Sir Matthew Glass, I demand a duel concerning your opinions of the song Peg by Steely Dan.
No, this is you're definitely in more dangerous territory. I've just thrown you through 2 pop albums.
I feel like we're pretty respectful to these albums.
No, I love these albums. I will say, I've like Badlands is my child. But yeah. Anyway,
speaking of Badlands, shall we move on to Haunting?
Oh, please.
Haunting is cool.
It's so cool.
I like this one.
The haunting.
Yeah.
It's like a glitch. It sounds like
and then it comes back in the chorus.
Yeah. Oh, you love a full circle.
I do. I love me my bookends.
I'm painting you the live show now because when she performs this live, there's like a house, right? And she'd walk through each room and it'd light up and flicker.
That's
when
cool.
They go, yeah, like that part.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So I like that. I don't know. Haunting, I think, again, like lyrically, I cannot commend this album enough. I think like lyrically, it's so good.
This one lyrically stood out to me a lot. I liked it a lot.
And just also the production, like slays.
I feel like production-wise, this one stood out to me the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It definitely has the most elements, I think. Like
sure.
different elements.
Yeah.
That like change up and come in versus like a repetitiveness to it.
I agree.
It's not repetitive, but like less.
It's differentiates it from everything we've heard so far.
It's honestly unlike anything else I've heard on this album in terms of creativity.
Yeah, I agree. It's just a solid all-around song. I like the message about, like fixating on past mistakes and like how it's going to haunt you. Like that's really cool. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
There's no jokes or anything to make about it. It's just a fucking good song, honestly.
Slays. We're haunting stands.
All right. Moving on to Gasoline. This is the one I was talking about with the bookend when it throws, she says the lyric, I'm a hurricane. You hear the synth riff in there. Great touch. I love that a lot.
Is there a shamisen in this?
That's what I was going to say. That's what I think it is. Like the Eastern Asian guitar sounding thing. Yeah. That's so fucking cool.
Dun, dun.
Yeah.
It's so funny because this is a deluxe track. Like this wasn't on Badlands, but this is one of the most popular songs.
It fits right in.
Oh my God. I think she closes her shows with this normally.
Okay.
And the part where it's like, do you call yourself? She has the audience like call her back like 20 times. She'll keep going and like the beat keeps going. It's awesome.
There is a lyric that I really enjoyed. I think there's a fault in my code. These voices won't leave me alone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
It's pretty good.
I think the whole comparison of like running on gasoline.
Yeah, like machinery aesthetic. Yeah.
It fits right in with the industrial pop sound to begin with, but then the concept.
Yeah.
So good.
Cherry on top.
So good. Yeah, I love Gasoline. That's definitely one of my favorites as well. And again, crazy that it didn't make the initial cut, but like a song that had such a big impact on like the fans, you know, like that's such a song still. So
it's really cool. It got kind of like almost like a Western kind of feel, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Definitely helped by that shamisen, which I really like.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I was really surprised to hear that. You said she performs this live?
Yes, this is her closer normally.
Okay, that's honestly.
So we open with Castle. Even still, she's had 4 albums. Like you open with Castle and you close with Gasoline.
That's dope.
Like that's the encore. That's like the last song you'll hear from her.
I like this whole like live Halsey performance lore that's happening right now.
Well, there's also a thing she doesn't ever. I mean, when she performs, but in this song specifically, she does a mic flip where she'll flip the mic and that dun dun dun. It's like a thing. Like she always flips it then and catches it like midair.
That's cool.
I haven't seen her drop it yet. I'm sure she has, but it's always like
it's like the Dairy Queen Blizzard. She drops it. The concert's free.
She drops it. You get a full refund.
I'm just imagining like they have to pay the audience like millions of dollars.
Literally, it's like you lose all of them. It's like, well, New York.
Drop the mic, guys.
No profit on New York tonight.
Dude, Towel Boys, they ain't making shit tonight, okay?
They lose all their
earnings. They have a family to feed. Fuck them. Like that's it.
No, we'll have to after we record this, I'll show you the live thing because you should it's so. Again, I'm just gonna take you back to Aussie show. We'll circle back in like a year whenever she tours, and we'll do another episode after you both see it live.
Yeah, Halsey live recap.
I literally wrote in here, I bet this kills live.
Yeah.
I literally wrote that in here.
And that's the thing. It's like her brain works so well with that. She thinks, I don't know, Billie Eilish talks about this too, where you think in colors. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's a name for it.
Yeah,
It's synesthesia. Synesthesia,
it is.
I believe.
I don't know if she necessarily claims to have that, but she, like, a lot of the things, like, the live show plays into that, where it goes off, like, the colors, like, Gasoline, from what I remember from most tours, is, like, red, white, and yellow, where I think fits. Like, that makes sense in my head. Oh, I love Gasoline.
Gasoline's a good one. And now we move on to Control. This one's pretty cool too.
So Control is interesting. I feel like I'm just like a dictionary. I'm just up here like, da-da-da. She's bipolar.
Okay.
So Control was written about like who's in control.
Yeah.
Which is like, she's sung this. I'm trying to think. This is on a few tours. This is a song that doesn't get sung live too much. I guess it did back in the day, but it's not one that comes back as like. But I think it's a really important song, and I think it's I think it's done really well. I like the melody of it. I like all the little like production sounds. I think this is pretty creative and like production wise.
I like the intro. It sounds like the THX opening for like a VHS tape.
You would say that. You would say that.
I found out recently, it's so odd that you mentioned that, but I literally saw a video this morning about how like there's like this trend going around of like irrational fears that I had as a child or whatever, and one of them was like the THX like intro, which
Halsey brought up some trauma.
That's fair. That's fair.
Matt just gets triggered like mid listen.
No, that wasn't one of mine. I had stranger ones.
You were a brave boy.
What was it? I feel like a little bit, and attack me for this if you will. This song kind of fell flat for me a little bit.
Okay.
The cinematic strings at the end were amazing. I will say, I do. I do.
Strings.
I will.
Weakness.
If there's
You
any,
gotta get tickets to the Halsey show with the live string ensemble.
take me to an orchestra. Like, honestly, like, I like me some good strings. But no, what I was gonna say was I feel like this song in particular, it had a lot more chance to take a few more risks.
Okay,
If
yeah.
that makes sense.
I can see that.
Didn't
just
really
a
live
little
up to
bit.
its fullest potential.
I mean, lyrically and melody wise, I still think it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But
Like the chorus is great.
I feel like the last track into this one again would have been a great seamless transition. But I mean, hey, 19, it's more than anything I could do.
Yeah,
It's more
that's true.
More than anything I could do right now. So like, honestly, like,
Halsey get a pass on this one.
no, but honestly
New album,
though,
she makes you like, you're 26, you can't be doing this.
I mean, I don't hate it whatsoever though. I mean, it's good.
Yeah. Is this a deluxe track or was this on the base album?
I think that this was on the bass album.
Okay.
I'm 90% sure this was on
Cool.
the bass album.
Epic.
Slay.
We'll fact check if it isn't, because that's our big thing.
I'll fact check for you right now. You can move on to the next one if you'd like.
All right.
I love Control.
Control's good.
That's my...
It's a nice one. It's a nice third to last track. Speaking of to last track, we got Young God, which is the penultimate track, I believe.
I love Young God.
This one I'm not too huge on.
I mean, I just love to clash.
Yeah.
we have
I mean, you know our music taste, Elizabeth. Yeah.
Which makes sense. I like Young God because I like it lyrically. Matt, I'm going to say it. I think this one sounds a little wet. It's a little like... it's a
Halsey's
little,
got a wet song under her
yeah,
belt.
literally. Because I think also, again, I keep going back to the live, but I think like when she sings this live, because the line of like a swimming pool, so it's like she's underwater, so they add more of that like...
I see.
That's
sound
cool,
to it.
yeah.
I don't know if you'd like that or hate that live. That's up for your interpretation.
Do you want to splash around with Halsey, Matt?
So I think Young God. I was gonna say, I feel like vocally her voice fucking shines on this track,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
a
for
lot.
sure.
Like I also love the way she enunciates in general. Like I'm not a big fan of that like way of singing because like there's like a certain way of singing that a lot of like pop artists do. But I feel like the way she does it, especially in this song, it's good soup. Honestly, it's very good.
I agree. That is very good soup, Matt. Like vocally, yes, I agree. Just production wise, it's kind of boring. This is like at this point, I'm kind of starting to check out a little bit just because like the repetitive nature of the production is starting to get to me.
See, that's where
Same
my
here.
pop. I
Yeah.
love that. I'm like,
It's like this is like not really the same structure, the same sound. It's like it's not enough variety for
anybody
me.
pick out a certain line? There's a big one that everyone screams live.
What is this? Some kind of a young god?
That one was pretty good. I like that.
Oh man.
Close. Nobody picked up on something that a crowd would scream. If you want to go to heaven, you should fuck me tonight.
Oh,
Bad bitch.
We're not on
line.
Tumblr.
I know.
You wouldn't know.
I have such a different perspective because it's like I grew up with the song, but also like the shows. I don't know. That's so fun to scream though. I also, again, it's that like confidence. It's kind of borderline arrogance in some ways.
Yeah.
And she's talked about that before where she's like, I was pretty arrogant, but it's like you're 19 in an industry that's male dominated where you have to get someone to believe in your art.
You gotta like go for it.
It's not like a traditional debut album. Like you have to be.
Yeah.
But I love that line. I love, again, you know, Matt knows too, I bet by this point. My favorite genre of music is like angry, empowered women. That's like my, like what strings does to you, that does to me. That's like my favorite thing.
Forgive me, this is completely off track, but I don't know why. You said like this is something you scream at a concert. I just like... I was just imagining like any other. You can't scream this in any other place. Yeah. Like I was just imagining like going to a library and just if you want to go to hell, like I don't know why. Just like I like the thought of that.
There's
just
only
like,
one place you can scream this. And it's at a
Halsey concert.
Don't try anywhere else.
You say it's at a Walmart, you're gonna get like on a list.
If you say that on a Walmart, you would have been on Comedic Crimes.
That's true.
I don't know why, but like just the idea of screaming it like any. You said like that is the place to scream. That's like where they scream it. But like just screaming it anywhere else.
What if you said in the library and screamed the second line back?
Oh, he's dead.
Then fuck me tonight.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Dear God.
Oh boy.
What the fuck is happening?
We have fun here at the family album.
Oh Lord.
I love to bring the chaos anywhere I go. That's my favorite thing. I guess there is a lot of screaming at Halsey shows. I'm thinking about it. Like she just thrives off like female rage and wants everyone to scream too. It's you have to go to a Halsey show ready to like give it your all.
Yeah,
you do get yelled at.
I would assume
She's restarted. Actually, Castle, tracking back so far, Castle, during the New York show, I think it was, like, she played fucking Madison Square Garden on her debut tour.
Holy shit.
And the track messed up. Like, so they restarted it.
Gotcha.
So they played it again because she's like, I'm not doing it's the opener. She's like, this is my New York show. So every show now, she kind of joke restarts Castle in the middle, where if you're not jumping hard enough, she'll be like, okay, one more time. No, she'll be like, you ready to jump? She's like, that wasn't good enough. And then she'll run it back and you do it a whole again. It's like, I'm like, God, I'm gonna die. Like, I can't even.
The Towel Boys are just like, oh, we gotta go back. we gotta go back.
The Towel Boys are like, no.
Geez, working overtime, I see.
Literally, it's like you're like a bunch of kids outside for 12 hours on mattresses, and then it's like, jump again. You're like, do you want me to die?
Halsey, I have asthma.
When we went with Erin like literally can't jump with her heart thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't.
She's just like standing on her tippy
literally,
toes.
Erin's like, I'm like, you're fine. Anyway, Young God, Halsey, what's next?
This is the last track, I Walk the Line. What a great closer.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Little Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
I think what's so interesting about this is like obviously it's sample, but it does fit that whole dystopian like vibe to it. And they add obviously their own like
the spin on it, yeah. It does feel like the Badlands are kind of like crumbling
it's like
down.
a good walkout. Like it's like the sun is setting. Do you know the Badlands are a real place?
I would assume.
I think I've heard,
It's in South Dakota. Actually, my one friend Sydney, who grew up in North Dakota, did her like senior photos in the Badlands. Cool. I'm like, take me there. I'd love to go.
I want to go to Halsey's lands.
Yeah, but I do picture when I hear the song like a sunset, walk off closer.
Yeah,
as opposed to Melanie Martinez album where the closer on the
should
Deluxe,
be Mad Hatter.
Yeah, where the closer on Deluxe did not thrive.
It's talking about fucking cake.
Thrived. Yeah, so I love that one too.
It's good. I Walk This Line, the only line I've ever known, Matt.
Don't know where it goes.
Yeah.
I don't know the rest of that song.
My Shadow.
I was thinking of Green Day.
That's what I'm thinking of too.
Honestly, I really like, I think this is such a strong closer.
Yeah.
And
I like the kind of pronounced drum beat here instead of kind of like just having it so minimal. It's like right up in the forefront, which I like a lot. Could be drummer's bias, but always appreciated.
Not a drummer's bias.
We got a lot of those on the show.
Apologies. I like the way the beat is. I think it works very, very well. Yeah. Honestly.
It's a really, really nice way. It really adds to the feel, that triumphant kind of ending cinematic feel.
That industrial pop is heard throughout this whole album. I love that sound.
How does her sound progress as she goes through albums? Is it similar here or is it like...
completely different. I mean, Hopeless... So the second album is Hopeless Fountain Kingdom, and that was based off like a Romeo and Juliet vibe.
Okay.
That is like super somatic, super like poppy, but like so different than Badlands. To the point where it was like people were very mad at first. Then Manic more, that's the third album. It's like dreamy. It's more of like a her
dream pop?
album. Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, it's actually the most, it's Manic. It's like the most different sounds. There's not like one cohesive sound.
Okay.
And then the last album, If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power, is produced by Nine Inch Nails.
That's right.
So it's like the hard punk rock. So every album's like, I do commend her for that. Like she takes risks. Like she could have easily did another Badlands Part 2 and made everyone on Tumblr really happy, but she decided she was going to go.
Do what she wants to do.
Yeah, and like people stuck with her because they were like, shit.
That's sick as
Kind
fuck.
of slays. So
Yeah.
I can't believe you guys listen to both those albums. That's still.
I know. We never would have without you,
I know.
Elizabeth.
I want to hear these Badlands ratings. I'm like gun to your head.
Matt, do you want to go first?
Sure.
All right.
Sure. So like I did, especially after re-listening to a couple of the tracks this morning, I definitely have an appreciation. Well, also that and like the fact that she did it all when she was 19 and wrote it all. That's very impressive. No, I think honestly, it's done very, very well. I love the lyrics. Like the lyrics are definitely like the strongest seeming like element of this album for me. I do, however, feel like because it's so like industrialized, I get a little bit like fatigued early on.
Yeah.
Like I say, I don't know what track I would even say it around. I'd say like maybe around like maybe track like 10. I get a little bit like, okay, 16. That's 6 more
Almost
to go,
there.
you know? But I feel like with this one, I'm not gonna remember a lot of these. Like I think like the ones that I remember the most are like the single Hurricane and then New Americana, but also like it's funny I'm saying I remember it, but I forget what it was called in the EP. The gold one.
Empty Gold.
That's it, Empty Gold. Let's say Fool's Gold. That's a song
That's
by
a movie.
There's so many
That's
songs with
also-
gold in the title. You're
that's-
not
That's also a song by Borns, so I knew that was that one.
close.
But, yeah, no. Honestly, though, I feel like a lot of these I'm not going to be like humming on the way home. You know what I mean? But I do appreciate how much work was put into it. It's just the fact that it's like such industrial pop. It just kind of blended together for me. I think. But I will say, though, everything technically, musically is done very well. So
What's your final rating?
final rating, I would probably give it like a 6 out of 10, maybe like a very high C.
I have very similar opinions to you, Matt. I feel like Halsey is the strongest part on this album.
Yes.
Her voice is great. Her lyrics are great for the most part. Just musically and production-wise, I just check out. I feel like it's very repetitive, especially with the song structure just being the same for almost the entire album. There's some cool moments that I wish were expanded upon more when they bring in like instruments like the guitar and the the shamisen. That shit's cool as fuck, which I respect. Also, that she did in 19 is awesome. That's so cool. And just hearing how like engaged with her fan base is awesome too. So I definitely have more of an appreciation as well. But I like Matt said, I'm not gonna really hum these tunes ever unless I'm listening to the album. Like I probably won't recognize any of these songs unless I hear them again. So I'd say 6 out of 10, like a C tier. It's solid, but not a favorite.
Yeah. Oh, I love this album.
Go off, Elizabeth.
Literally like a 9 out of 10. I think, again, like you said, the appreciation of her doing this so young and by herself. And like, I don't know. I think it fits the concept really well. And it's into the industrial pop. I think when I listen to this, I think of live, which is different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I find myself, when I hum it, like you guys said, I think more of like the assets of the live songs that aren't in Badlands necessarily, like the original. But I don't know. I think this album's super nostalgic for me too. Like I think of being young and like just how long I've listened to her and how like I still go back to the album like, oh, I love this song. I think there's a few, in my opinion, like Roman Holiday for me will always be like a timeless track.
I agree.
Where I'm like, God, that brings you right back to being 15. So I think again there's highlights like that, but I don't know. I love this album. This is a 9 out of 10 for me. I love her.
All right, well, very interesting episode of the Family Album all around. Thank you, Elizabeth, for giving us such a unique listening experience.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Of course,
It was
this is
awesome.
a really good episode, I feel. A very fun time. Any closing thoughts?
Everyone support Halsey.
Yeah, support Halsey. Melanie, I guess, if you want.
AJ's Nightmares.
No.
As they say.
I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
And I am Matt Glass.
And I'm Elizabeth.
We'll catch you next week. Thanks for listening.
Peace.